Hello, everybody, and welcome, one and all, to Dire Roll Embers of the Vale, Session 1. And this is a particularly fun for us, because this is the first time all five of us have been together in like a month. So,
Yep.
we're all kinds of ready for this. How's everybody doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm stoked. I'm hype. Super
was
hype.
that not rhetorical? I thought you were like asking the audience. It's like, okay.
Oh, I'm asking y'all, and the audience, and
I'm
everybody,
excited, but I'm nervous.
and YouTube, when this goes up on there, I'm asking everybody.
A little freak just because it's so quiet without the kids in the house.
Yeah, they'll come, fear not. Yeah, so we are starting a new campaign today, Embers of the Vale. We are be playing in the Worlds Without Number system, and I forgot to update the bot with what system we're playing. I think I also forgot to update a lot of things. Right when we went live, I was like, oh, I forgot stuff. It'll be fixed by next week. One of the things, currently I have to go to our Twitter to find this. This campaign has a website, and it's filled with lore, and eventually it'll have episode summaries and links to the YouTube archive. So, because we have the website, and eventually we'll have it so that you can... I'll have the link on Twitch so that you can actually go there during the campaign. I'm not going to spend so much time expositing upon the world, because that information is available, and that way we can just jump into the story and the action. So, just a quick primer so everyone knows what's going on. This is a civilization that has been at war for nearly 100 years. And for the last decade, peace has finally been restored. It's tenuous, but all four of our characters here have lived during the time where life was violence, one way or another. Now, our campaign takes place on the opposite continent to where all the violence went down, but it's definitely a part of the world where it's a very hostile place. Borders are secured through blood, and there's not a lot of camaraderie. Now, in the West, where we'll be taking place, there's more camaraderie, especially between the races. Like, the species are intermingled here in the West, and there is an opportunity to go stake out new territory. And this campaign is going to be about 4 Pathfinders. These 4 Pathfinders. Traveling to the new frontier. They each have their own reasons, their own goals. They're traveling there to build a new life one way or the other. And it's going to be kind of like an Old West infusion into a fantasy setting. But really, Old Westerns were really just knight errants with guns. So it's kind of two sides of the same coin, but we're going to have a lot of that frontier flair. I'm trying to decide what else I need to say. I think that's pretty much it. We'll start talking more lore. We'll talk about the world as it comes up. And let's go ahead and get started. You guys ready for our opening adventure here? Okay.
Yep.
We are going to start the adventure like all good adventures should start, in the dining room of an inn. But the 4 of you aren't gathered here. And this is just a little slice, an introduction, if you will. We see a lizard man clad in patched light armor, different layers of metal and hardened leather, and padded armor underneath. He's sitting at a table with a middle-aged-ish human. And this human is the patriarch of the Scarbrought family. And he is talking with one Varkan. And he's saying, with all the violence that we've endured, I'm sure you've heard about the lands beyond Vena Crubis, past the Erasmus territory, beyond the wilds of the Bitter Hills and the Wild Basin. There's this fertile farmland called the Chamber. There's no government out there except what them settlers have built for themselves. And I've sold, my brother and I, we have sold everything we have here, and we're headed west, form a new life here in the Chamber. We're going to get away from all the armies and the dreariness. Start over, as we all should. But like everything in this world, it won't be easy. It's dangerous. We'll be setting out through the Wild Basin, an untamed land of heat, jagged rocks, shrubs hiding monsters and whatnot. There ain't no path through the Wild Basin, no roads, no patrols, no soldiers. Just the wild and our wits. And though my brother and I, we, like most of us, we're veterans. But it's just the two of us. And it's a big caravan of not just my family and his, but some other folk we picked up on the way. If we were going to make it past civilization, through the wilderness, and into the great frontier of the Chamber, we're going to need warriors. And not like our common soldiers. No, we need legends. That's why we're looking for Pathfinders. We've heard a lot of things about them. They used to be heroes. Now they're, I don't even know. They're just a name some people call themselves. But you call yourself that, and by the look of you, you look like you could fight. So I'm offering you what coin we have. You and whoever you can scrounge up. And a horsey for each of you. Ride along with us through the Wild Basin. Protect my family. Protect my friends. And once we reach the Chamber, I'll see you're fairly compensated. And obviously, we know that Varkin has accepted this job.
Yes.
So we cut, not to Varkin accepting, although perhaps he nods. Instead, Varkin needs more Pathfinders. So who do you want to go to first?
Obviously, Genma.
Okay. And also, DM Daddy, thanks for 21 months in a row. I'm going to add a new badge for the new campaign. I just haven't done it yet. Next week we'll have that. Well, where does Varkin find Genma?
Well, he knows she's living in an inn, I'm assuming, at this point.
Kind of like a short-term tenement housing, most likely, as opposed to just an inn proper.
Okay. Well, either way, Varkin would know where Genma tends to spend her time if she's not walking around, correct? Like where she lives, essentially, at this time?
Yeah. She's kind of just found work as she can, but mostly is like, come to me if you need medical attention, and I will do it for pay.
So Varkin would show up at Genma's door, possibly unknowing that she has a roommate, but at least expects Genma to be there, and knocks on the door, obviously. Genma, are you here?
All right, brother, I'm coming. And she'll
I like to think that you said that, but then I opened the door.
Yeah, I'm like reaching for the door and you just pull the handle.
Wait, you're not Genma?
I just kind of lean so you can see her.
Oh, hello, Genma.
How you doing?
I got a job.
Uh,
Well, we got a job
Congratulations.
if you want it.
Wait. I was about to congratulate you, but now I'm mostly confused. Would you like to step inside our humble abode?
I quickly get out of the way.
Yes, sure. And he steps in, like, all giddy and excited. Like a child that has found like a toy or something. Like he's excited,
Yeah.
jittery.
Yeah, she'd like gesture over to a table and some chairs and sit down and go, "All right. Tell me what for."
We're going to the chamber.
I don't recall having agreed to this.
Yes, sorry. I agreed to go to the chamber, and I would like you to join me. Essentially, it's a pair of veterans that have brought their families together to go live in the chamber. They want to settle there with the other settlers, and they don't believe that with just 2 veterans guarding the caravan, that it would be sufficient to cross the basin. They want to go through the basin. So they want Pathfinders to help them not only find the path but protect the caravan. And I figured that would be an amazing excursion to, put the name of the Pathfinder out there and make a name for myself as well. But obviously, I can't do it by just myself. And then I remembered you wanted to be a Pathfinder and you wanted to maybe find a new place for you and your husband, if I remember correctly. So I thought about you immediately. I was like, oh, I can get Genma on this.
All right, son. Let's calm down just a second. It does sound like an enticing offer, and I'd love to meet the gentleman. I've my roomie here is also looking for passage westward, but you sure do know how to pry a life story out of someone, don't you? I bet you know the names of all their children already. I can't rightly say no. You know that.
Well, yes. But if you need time to think about it, I can come back in 15 minutes.
No, that's all right. That's all right. You go ahead and let them know that you've got a doctor on the team, and if you wanted extra help, I believe you're looking to make a name for yourself. She just turn like slowly over.
Rose is like already packing her bag, being like, "So when do we leave?"
All right, yeah, I kind of figured.
Okay. Smash cut. Where do we find Micah?
Micah's either going to be at I can't remember the name of it, the tavern where
The Pathfinders have
yeah,
kind of gathers.
yeah, where Varkin constantly pesters Micah and won't leave him alone to read. Or we're gonna find him at the library getting irritated that he can't read at the library because it's too quiet.
Well, which is it?
Let's say it's at the tavern. Yeah, it was definitely too quiet at the library today, so Micah wasn't getting any reading done.
Perfect.
So he grabbed his books and headed towards. What is the name of the tavern, Jaken?
I don't know if we had a name for a tavern.
I don't think we put a name. I don't think we put
now
a name.
I feel like I've done something wrong.
Okay, no.
No.
That's me thinking there was a name.
I wasn't thinking much about the city because you're immediately leaving it, so I didn't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So Micah is currently sitting at a back table, near one of the wall lamps. So it's not like a dark corner because gotta have good light for reading. But he's sitting at the back corner of the third bell.
So Varkan will enter the tavern in the same exuberance that somebody with way too much excitement and energy has. Like the door crash open, but Micah has been interrupted enough in his reading that he knows that crash, like that door opening. It's Varkan. He's coming. Dear Lord, no, save me from him.
You just see Marka putting a bookmark in the book,
The bookmark goes in while also slouching down, book up over face.
So
Just in case, it's not going to work, but he's going to try.
No, because Varkin crashes into the tavern, and he scans the room and he sees a book, so he knows Micah's behind it, and he goes, "Micah, Micah!" And then he screams through the entire tavern as he walks over to Micah. "Micah, can't you hear me? Micah, they kicked me out of the library. I don't know why, but I'm glad I found you here. Micah!"
Barkin. Hello.
Hello, Micah.
Hello, Varkin. How? What?
We've got a job. I mean, sorry, I've got a job, but I would like you to join us. Oh yes, there's more people than just me. There's 2 other people too. We're going west.
How are you today?
Excited. I got a job. We've got a job. Well, if you accept. I know you'll accept. You're my friend. You'll join me, right?
What? What's the? Who hired you?
Well, technically they hired Pathfinders. I just happened to be the representative at the time. They took a liking to me. You know, everybody does. You did. So, essentially, they're 2 veterans that want to move their family west into the farmlands of the Chamber. They're going through the Wild Basin, and they need people to help defend the caravan as well as find a path through the Wild Basin. So I thought I can get this job done, absolutely, but I need help. So I got Jenma. I don't know if you remember her. You might have met. Anyway, I got her on board. Well, she said she was thinking about it, couldn't say no. Intimately said yes. Also got her friend on board. Actually, I don't think I took her name. I should ask her name next time I find her. But Micah, I think you should actually come with us. You would get to learn so much and see new spots and maybe make new friends. I understand you've got a lot with me, but you could make so many new friends as well.
When do we leave?
Smash cut. All right. So the 4 of you can add riding horses to your inventory.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have no skills in that. I'm gonna fall off a lot.
Okay. Also, you guys don't have to worry about your rations for the journey because you will be eating with the caravan.
Please don't fall off
I
the horse.
assume
You will
riding
die
horse
immediately.
right?
What?
I assume a riding horse will be under miscellaneous.
I have no idea.
I'm talking about for my inventory. I don't actually know where it is in here. I'll figure it out.
All right. So on screen now is the map of the explored regions of the Western continent. And my players, you guys have the ruler and all that, but for the audience, if you're wondering for scale, the Chamber is about the size of the state of Kansas. So this is a very, very big map. You guys start here in Spear Point. But where we smash cut to, you're already on the road. The Bulwark, which is this kind of stretch of land between the water and the mountains, currently it's late December. And so you guys are surrounded on all sides by falling snow, but the road itself is clear. And you guys set off on horseback, leading a trail of wagons. I think there's 3 or 4 altogether. And in these caravans, actually, yeah, there's four wagons. In the front, we have the Scarbrought family, led by Jahan and his wife Elswa, and their 4 children. They're in the front wagon. The second wagon has 3 more humans. Sorth Scarbrought, which is Jahan's younger brother, and his wife Janie, who is 15 weeks pregnant as to the beginning of the adventure, and Sorth's much older son, who he had from his previous marriage. His name is Arkin, and he's 10. He's not the oldest of the kids, but he's 10 years old. The oldest is Jahan's eldest daughter, Serene, who is 11. And then the next wagon is mostly provisions and supplies and all that, but it's being led by a young dwarf whose name is Tiergain Snoot Knuckle. He is a young blacksmith who's looking to go to the chamber, like everybody else. And then the final wagon is the one that looks the most distinct because it's elven made. And it is manned by Torve and Hildane Aristil, an elder elven couple who wish to go out into the chamber and find a quiet place to live out the remainders of their twilight years. And then, of course, in the front of the four of you on horses. Some of the wagons are being pulled by ox. Some of them are being pulled by ponies. Torve and Hildanes have two beautiful horses. Something about elves and beautiful horses. This is now in your journal if you want to reference it. Oh,
Good.
that didn't do what I wanted it to do. There it goes. Our first location that we come upon, as the adventure music is swelling and we are already on our journey. The first thing we're going to kind of vignette is passing through the Maw. During the time of the Dark Lord, this whole region, this whole continent was under his control. And the gateway to his domain from the eastern shore was this gate fortress known as the Maw. It is made of this black metal, kind of has this huge arch between two mountains that looks like jagged teeth coming down. And then it has a split jaw gate that looks like two halves of a mouth, that one of them is cracked open, maybe 35, 40 degrees. The other remains still. And the mechanisms that move these two massive gates, they aren't used very often. It has been 200 years since the Dark Lord and his forces manned the Maw. He has since been destroyed. And now the people of the Legion Accord, which is the country you're in, they man the Maw. And it's just this ancient relic of the Dark Lord's presence that stands as the only passage between the jagged peaks, which are these mountains that, as you guys come and look up, they all bow inward towards where you're going. Your characters know this, obviously, but the jagged peaks were rearranged when the Dark Lord was destroyed. This whole land was shuffled and warped with his death. And the mountain range that was once a linear mountain range formed a perfect circle around his fortress, and all the peaks bowed inward. Now they're called the Jagged Peaks, and they're basically impassable. There's no way to get through the Jagged Peaks. You have the only passage in and out of the Stele Vale, which you are now entering, is the Maw. And through the Maw is the farmland and beautiful fertile land of Vena Crubis. You guys stop in the city of Vena Hess, buy some last of the supplies you'll need before heading out south. You're going to be traveling during winter. The caravan hopes to arrive at the chamber in time to plant crops so that they'll have a first harvest this year. The Wild Basin does not snow. Vena Crubis kind of has some snow coming down from the mountains, but most of the Vale, except for the Bitter Hills. The Bitter Hills get snow in the winter, but most of the Vale doesn't snow. So you're looking at some pretty mild weather as it goes. However, one thing you will have to worry about in the Wild Basin is freezing nights. It's basically a desert. It's not sand dunes desert, but a desert. And so especially during the winter, it has very cold nights.
Like a Nevada desert.
Kind of, yeah. Or like an Arizona, if you will.
Blech.
How dare you compare the two?
All right. So, the fourth day of your journey. Oh, by the way, if you guys keep moving and march 8 hours a day, you will reach your destination. You will reach the chamber in 60 days and change. On the 61st day since leaving Spear Point.
That's a lot of days.
Yeah, like I said, you're crossing a very large amount of space. So, takes you about 2 days to get to Spear Point to the mall. Another day and a half to get from the mall to Vena Hess. And on your fourth day out from there, heading south, it's about mid-morning. You're in Vena Crubis. Vena Crubis is a pretty safe place. It's mostly just farms and ranching as far as the eye can see. And it's well protected. The greatest threat to all of the Western countries are the Erasm, but ever since the War of the Maw ended decades ago, they haven't really left their territory. Although recently, and your caravan companions probably would have told this to you if you weren't aware already, there have been reports of Erasm scouting and war parties outside of their borders, which is another reason why they wanted to bring Pathfinders along. If you run into Erasm, you're in trouble. The Erasm, no one knows what they originally were, but now, ever since you've encountered them, they are the warrior species of the Dark Lord that he warped with dark magic to make into his perfect warrior slave race, basically. And even with his destruction, they're still the way they were changed. So on the fourth day out of Vena Hess, you're traveling on the main road. As long as there's a road, you're going to follow it. This road leads to the Wild Basin, and then there's no more road. As you guys come to an area of this small, kind of undeveloped woodland, you spot a single horse wearing barding, and it appears to be alone, and it's tied to a tree.
And I roll notice to see if I see the rider or the owner of that horse anywhere close.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
You guys scan the horizon and the areas around, and you don't see anything out of the ordinary. You don't see any humanoids of any kind. Maybe in the distance you spot a deer. But obviously deers don't ride horses, at least not
Yes.
in these parts.
Hmm. Let me see here.
Well, I'm thinking this person either had an unfortunate end or trap.
Well, technically, we're still in the safe-ish part of Vena S, so it could just be that they stepped down and, walked deeper into the little patch of wood, and we just can't see them.
Well, as you guys are continuing, I mean, this horse will be on the road beside you. And you guys haven't stopped yet, so you're still heading towards it. The closer you get to it, the more it looks like the horse of a knight errant, someone who would patrol Vena Crubis and keep the peace,
And there's no house. Like, we're reaching the end of civilization at this point.
Well, I mean, like, all of Vena Crubis is a lot of empty space, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are farmland, ranch land, and then the lands in between. There's not a whole lot. The only real, like, there's a couple maybe villages and hamlets here and there, but Vena Hess is the only, like, civilization.
Yeah.
Now, it is, Vena Crubis does not have mounted soldiers, so any knight like this would have to be from the Bulwark, either from Beltafor, which is the home country of Arkan, or from the Legion Accord, which is where you left from.
Does the horse look like it's distressed, or is it just kind of
No,
chilling?
it's just kind of chilling.
And the horse is alive.
The horse is alive, just sitting
Yeah.
No
Just
signs
figured
of
we'd get that
Yeah.
out of the way.
No signs of battle or anything around. No blood.
Nope.
No nothing.
You guys are coming up alongside it if you want to stop and inspect the horse.
I'm gonna give it a wide berth.
Okay.
Fascinating thing about the about horses is that even though they don't have any sort of unique and complex like verbal patterns, like they don't have a spoken language, but uh, they respond to commands much like any other domesticated animal. But there are anecdotal evidence of they enjoy being spoken to and will react accordingly, if not verbally, almost as if they are carrying out their portion of the conversation.
Hey, horse! Where's your owner?
The horse kind of like its ear turns to you and then just kind of bucks a little bit, gesturing almost as if answering into the woods.
And
Oh my god, I can't believe that worked.
But why? But why? Why? It was. It was.
Well, 'cause it's a horse. And then
But I
I
literally,
look down at my horse and go, sorry.
but I literally just explained why it would. What?
Firkin,
yes.
you're coming upon this horse. You can tell this is a riding horse. You know, it's
Yep.
not a draft horse that someone threw a saddle on.
Yeah.
It's well maintained, and it has in addition to the metal barding, which is very light. It's not like dressed in chainmail, but it's got like a metal plate across its whatever you call the horse's chest, and then some on the rear. It has supplies strapped to the back of the saddlebag, and there appears to be a lance through some hoops along the length of it, and an empty sword sheath.
As I noticed the empty sword sheet, Varkan's gonna say the knight took one of his weapon with him, or her. We don't know the gender yet, but the person took their weapon with them, so they might have heard trouble.
Maybe they just had to take a leak.
With a sword?
Yeah, you can never be too careful. Cut down some bushes. I'm gonna get a rash.
I know
Is
it's
there-
oh, go ahead, Micah.
Are there bushes I need to be on the lookout for to avoid rashes?
Behind you, Jay calls out, "Everything okay?"
Varkan's gonna answer. There's a potential knight's horse on kind of abandoned at this point. I'm curious about what happened to the knight that was supposed to be riding this horse.
You want to stop? We can give the horses some water.
Feel like a knight would have things handled. We can ride on.
I want to look around some more, like while it's still on horseback, just try and see if I notice anything else, like maybe a path where the guy went.
Notice? Why? Give me a notice check.
Aha.
And your attribute will be wisdom.
So can't I? Do I just click it?
Yeah.
Make sure you
You need
select
to
the
select
attribute
attribute.
first. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a
What?
little drop-down menu.
Yes, I see that.
So choose wisdom.
No, there's no drop down menu for that.
Yeah.
Next to attribute at the top under skills,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and then you click the skills once
Then
you
you click
selected your
notice,
attribute.
yeah.
And then you click roll. All right. Hey.
Oh darn! I forgot that. I should put on game screen whenever you guys make rolls. So you can actually see your dice. A 9. That's a really good roll. Okay. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. Maybe a squirrel or two, which isn't out of the ordinary. And you do spot the last gasps of a campfire, maybe 200, 300 yards deeper into this small patch of untamed woodland, which isn't very large. You could probably approaching it, you could see from one end to the other. It's just this patch of woods along this road.
I pointed out, like, there's a campfire over there. If you guys want to stop on one of the horses, we can go check it out.
Well, that was only my 2 copper anyway. Let's get moving.
Micah has already hopped off of his horse, gone up to what we're assuming to be the knight's horse,
Mm-hmm.
and is kind of just like nuzzling his head against its and whispering to it and having the conversation he said that the horse wanted to have. So
Okay.
All right.
So you guys want to kind of make your way through the brush towards
Yeah,
the campfire?
carefully,
Okay.
cautiously, I guess.
Are you being sneaky?
That's a roll, baby.
Yeah, I think it would be wise to just be like it's sneaky in a way, but it's mostly cautious. Like we're looking around and we're
Let's
being
do a
mindful.
wisdom stealth check from the whole party.
So all of us.
you said wisdom stealth?
Yeah, wisdom stealth.
Okay.
There's just stealth, but I think you mean sneak.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, wait. Damn, those are some cool dice. Okay, so 2 of you pass, which is good enough for me. So you guys, as a group, remain pretty much unhidden. Any sounds coming from Micah and Genma can be passed off as animals. You know, they're not consistently crunching through the leaves. And you guys come across a small clearing in the woods. And the scene before you is kind of grim. It appears that there was a camp here. There is a camp here with 3 pitched tents. And the ground, the logs, the tents themselves splattered with blood all around. And leaning on a stump, kind of resting on his own sword, caked in his own blood, is the looks of a knight with the colors of Beltafor.
Does he look breathing or completely unmoving, as far as we can tell?
He is breathing. He seems aware of you, but unable to do anything. The more you kind of survey, the more you see, oh, there's 1, 2, 3 corpses.
Well, he's gonna have some explaining to do. Thank you. I want to give him a look over first.
I'm gonna pull out my weapons and be at the ready as we get closer.
Okay.
Just some like traditional medicine first.
Okay, well, you're a physician. You can see that this man, he was wearing sufficient armor for a contest like this. But 3 against 1, a lot of blows went through. He has blunt trauma, he has gashes, and the main wound that just kind of blood is just coming out of it is this gut stab. And he doesn't look like he's going to last long. Mechanically, he is mortally wounded.
I mean, could last long enough to tell us a story if I do enough work. All right, Varkan, you'll probably need to talk to this fella. I'm gonna just try and like keep him awake, if that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, he is awake.
Because I can like treat wounds.
Yeah, so
tend
you're
to
like you're
wounds.
bandaging him up and
Mm-hmm.
okay. He doesn't stop you. In fact, as soon as you start like putting hands to him and putting bandages on him, he kind of like lets the sword just fall out of his hands and just slumps.
Yeah, if I'm gonna approach him, I'll be like, "Hello, my name is Genma. I'm a physician. Will you allow me to treat you today?
Yeah,
then
and him
it
dropping
started.
his sword kind of, that's like his consent, if you will.
Consent, yeah.
Yeah.
So Varkan's gonna look at the 3 other bodies. I don't remember. Did you describe them, or like you just said there were bodies and we're looking at them for the first time?
Yeah, there's 3 corpses, 2 humans and a dwarf, all male. They seem to be ragged-looking characters. Burning on the fire that is now dying is this like charred corpse of a rabbit. So it seems that the night came upon them when they were getting ready for
A meal.
lunch. Yeah,
I'm
they all
gonna
have
check.
weapons too, either
Yeah.
near them or some distance as they threw them away. And yeah,
What are their weapons?
one of them has a broken sword. One of them has a spiked mace, and the other one just kind of had like a hatchet.
So
Oh, and
no
all of their
hunter.
weapons, except for I know actually probably all the weapons have the knight's blood on them. Like this was a fight.
Yeah. Using my knowledge as a soldier, Jaken,
Mm-hmm.
do these look like trained men? I know they're dead. It's hard to know just by looking at dead men, but did they look like they had any sort of muscle mass that would indicate
Are they swole?
soldiers? Yeah, pretty much.
Well, see, the thing in Misylhae, the world you live in, is almost everyone over the age of 20 was a soldier.
At some point.
Right. So, that being said, these 3 guys look kind of worse for wear. They are leaned from lack of food, and they have tattoos and bad teeth.
So with this information, Varkan's gonna turn around, sheath his sword for now, seeing as there's no impending threat at this time, and he's gonna kneel next to Genma, who's treating the knight, to kind of be not quite facing the knight because Genma is kind of in the way at the same time, but like kind of sideways, almost facing. And he's gonna say like, "Sir, can you speak?"
I can endeavor to.
What happened here?
I came upon these men. And I was victorious.
Why did you fight these men?
The brigands. They robbed a string of farmsteads. I'm here to Stormra. Track them here.
Jaken?
Mhm.
Varkan knowledge, is it regular in this zone or in this time to just be the jury and executioner in these times? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Varkan's gonna say, are there more around?
He kind of like raggedly looks from side to side and says, if there were, I suspect they would have been upon me by now.
The moment Rose learns that they were the bad guys, she starts rifling through the pockets.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Micah has made his way over to the fire
Okay.
and has pulled the charred rabbit corpse from it and is trying to see if lunch can be salvaged.
Yeah, alright.
Meanwhile, Varkan's gonna turn to Genma and be like, Genma, do you think he's gonna be able to make it to his horse? Because if we can get him on his horse, he can get back to somewhere where he can be treated fully.
Rose, you find 8 silver.
Oh, nice.
Are you guys like speaking quietly, or is it possible to like have overheard that from
I assume
the
they're-
fire?
Varkan is not subtle unless I say he is. So
Would it wouldn't it be more prudent to not move not move him? We could bring the horse here, though.
Madam Dwarf,
Mm,
you say you are a doctor?
yeah, something of the sort.
I require your aid.
Looks like it. I'm just, I can heal you up a little bit, fix you on your way. Do you happen to have any financial means by which you might express gratitude? These supplies are expensive.
I have some coin on the horse, and I am a knight.
I suppose even barter would be good, but let me get you patched up first, and we'll see where we go from there. All right? Let's see what I can do.
Did you want me? Did you want me to go? I'm gonna go get the horse.
yes, please, Micah.
All
Thank you.
right.
I'm actually gonna
Micah,
pick up like
make sure you tank him. The horse.
right. I'm
Of
actually gonna
course.
pick up anything like useful from these guys. Go back with Micah and give it to the caravan. Maybe they could use it.
Okay, sure. When you hand Jenna a like a knapsack covered in blood, he's like, "Thank you."
Man, he better toughen up.
I mean, he's seen worse. He just wasn't expecting you guys to go into the woods and come back with a backpack covered in blood. So he's not like reeling. He's just like, "Yeah, cool, okay," you know.
He's like, what the hell's wrong with these people?
So for expending for abilities that last like for the scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine the duration is still seen even if the effort is 0.
Sure.
But I can healing touch this bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not maxed out on system strain, so yes, you can healing touch this bad boy. And since he's an NPC, we don't need to waste time with dice rolls.
Okay.
You heal him. He's no longer mortally wounded. He gets a whole lot of life back into his color, comes back to his cheeks, and he's like, "Ah."
Please tell me you said clear, like clear.
The begetters must be smiling upon me to send a healer on the same road in my hour of need.
Oh shoot. Well, I can't. Someone must be. But I think they're fetching your horse at this moment. And then you'll be able to return home and, get everything checked out and make sure it's all sorted. You'll still need some bed rest.
And let it be known, the Pathfinders were the ones to let you go back
What?
home in one
Oh,
piece.
okay. Well, my name's Jinma.
I am Sir Adrian Dale. It was my pleasure meeting you, Jenma.
The
I
best
have
of
a
the best she
feeling-
is.
I have a feeling I won't regret this at all.
May the umbral not cloud your step. And that's like a God bless you. If you
Yeah.
serve the umbral. He's assuming because you're a dwarf that you serve the umbral, and so he's trying to give you a blessing of a god you'd be familiar with.
Oh, jeez. Thank you. Right.
Xylemos, she's
well,
married. Calm down.
Well, that's fine and good. Good. I imagine the money's on your horse. I'll just.
Well, right
it'll
then,
be
like, Michael will come in with the horse, and he'll pull himself up, grab his sword, and kind of limp over to the horse, and he reaches into the saddlebag, and he digs around it for a bit, and he withdraws a small purse and hands it to you.
She was very worried. You should you should comfort her. Let her know
He
you're
gave you
okay.
a lot of money because I was rolling +2. He gave you 8 gold.
Oh.
Yeah, this knight was like, "Thank you for saving my life. Have a shit ton of money." Yeah.
I try very hard not to look.
Like your jaw dropped to the floor.
Yeah, not to look like a zany cartoon character.
With your eyeballs sticking out.
With
And like coins.
Yeah. Okay. He takes a moment before mounting his horse and heading off to civilization to get more healing. He takes the moment to clean his sword and then put it back in the sheath on the horse. And then he kind of turns to Varkin and he goes, "Sir, could I trouble you for a hand?"
Varkin will be immediately coming to help, and
Yeah, you offer him your hands, and he steps into the saddle and gets himself up on his horse, and he's like, "I thank you all. Where are you headed?"
Varkin is going to give a quick look to the caravan leader just in case he makes a face of like,
you're still at the
don't say
camp,
it.
like
Okay.
a couple hundred yards away. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So in that case, Varkin will just say, "We're headed westward, helping settlers resettle."
Well, the reason I was out here was not for brigands, it was for Erasm. Small group of Araz on those savage dogs they ride were spotted near here. If you're headed west, keep your keen eyes about you. And
That's why we're hired, sir.
And if you spot dark silhouettes on the horizon, be ready.
Varkin, as the man gets ready to leave, is gonna say, "Any advice on their strategy? I'm assuming ambush is to be expected."
I've never faced the Erasm myself. I'm, by the look of you and your familiar accent, he's also from Beltafor.
Yeah.
I trust you know as much as I do. And if you are trained well, I'm sure you will manage. But they are relentless.
Very well. Thank you for the little tips about the Erasm. And I'm sure that they're glad they haven't met you, because after what I've seen out there, you would have pretty much demolished them.
He looks over at the 3 brigands, he said, "Perhaps. If it were Erasm, I probably would have put on my helmet." And then he spurs his horse down the path you guys followed.
We do have a fascinating lack of discourse markers in their conversational vernacular, though. I can say that much.
I don't imagine horses got lots of discourse. Let's ride on.
No, I meant the Erasm. Horses don't have any discourse. We went over this. They don't actually speak. They like to be spoken to. They don't respond. I thought, I didn't emphasize that well enough, did I? I'm sorry. That's my fault.
No. You did, Micah. You did well. You did great.
Alright, you guys return to the caravan and make your way?
Yes.
Yes, please.
And when Varkin climbs back on his horse, he leans forward and he says, "I'm back. You don't have to worry. I'm back."
Micah just kind of softly smiles and nods at him from the back of his own horse.
I want to
Rose
remind
is just trying to
everyone.
stay on her horse. She does not care.
He's got like a crocodilian face, so he's like
Yes.
whispering, and it's all.
That's the boy on screen now.
Yes.
Does he have a forked tongue? Because I imagine it going like in and out when he whispers.
I don't think.
I
Like,
don't know.
No, I don't think so.
yeah, I
Oh,
don't think.
okay.
It
Just
would.
meaty.
Yeah, I think it would be a large triangular kind of tongue that fits in the bottom of his mouth.
Anyway, we're getting way too into detail.
Yeah, as
about
opposed to
his
tongues
anatomy.
that are too big for your mouth, like mine.
How you doing, Jaken?
Can we please ride?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Just do our
let's
job.
ride. All right. If you guys want to stop and talk to the NPCs, let me know. This is 60 days of travel. There's a lot of encounters to come.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna blaze on through. You guys let me know when you want to vignette.
Well, Varkin is gonna pull toward the middle of the caravan and talk to. I need to pull up the thing again. Give me a second. You said it was Jahan that had the weapons, right? Who grabbed the weapons that Rose brought back?
But
and the
Jahan,
other-
yeah, Jahan is
It was
the
Jahan?
leader of this whole expedition. Yeah.
Vargan's gonna roll up to Jahan because Jahan's at the front. So I said at the middle, but he would be at the front. It'd be like the weapons that we recovered from the bandit that the knight dispatched. Maybe some of them, if they're unusable as weapons, could be provided to the blacksmith. He could reforge them into something more useful, tools even.
Yeah. Next time we camp, I'll pass them on to Tier Gain.
And then he's gonna say, the knight warned us that he was not looking for bandit trouble, although he fell upon them through his patrols. He was actually looking for an Erasm party. Apparently, they're active in the area. So we'll keep an eye out, but if you can, keep an eye out as well. And I'm not sure if we should tell the rest of the caravan, but everybody should be aware that Erasm activity around.
Oh, like
I
eyes peeled.
I appreciate it, Varkin, but we're all on the lookout for Erasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Varkin could add more, but just like, nah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. So, you guys come upon the border to Vanacrubus and the Wild Basin, and it's this juxtaposition of like gently rolling hills, small patches of woodland, into this kind of sparse vegetation, rough, coarse bushes, and if you see a tree, it's like alone and it's ragged and small. And you guys make camp at the edge of the Wild Basin. And you guys start off the next day fresh. On the 7th day of your journey. Not an hour into the Wild Basin. The four of you, being ever vigilant, spot a lone rider some 100 yards. Even from here, you can tell that this lone rider is hooded and atop a black horse. The rider doesn't seem to be watching you, just kind of making its own way. And as you guys continue to ride on, this lone rider trots, a couple 100 yards alongside you, heading seems to be in the same direction you're going.
I want to see if I could spot anything, like any insignias or about him
He's
that would.
very far away.
Oh, okay.
You basically can see cloaked man on black horse. And that's it.
Yeah. And he's not
You're
watching
assuming,
us.
I mean, like, I say man, but that's just like the general
Yeah.
term. It could be a woman. Like, you have no distinguishing features. She's like this
a
big.
person.
Yeah.
A person. As far as we can tell, it's humanoid, pretty much.
Yeah.
Slowly draw a dagger out of boot and just wait.
Varkan's gonna keep an eye on the silhouette, but they're so far away they don't seem to pose too much of a threat.
Yeah. Well, hours go by of you guys traveling into the Wild Basin, and the rider is still keeping distance but following alongside.
While keeping an eye on the silhouette still, Varkan is gonna kind of speak to the group, but also Jahan, that's nearby, and is gonna say, do you think it's someone that is using us as bait or cover? They've been following us for a while now. Could be anything at this point.
Well, from all the stories of the Erasm, they don't ride horses. Other than that, I am beginning to grow nervous. But it is just one rider. Maybe they're hoping that a proximity to such a large caravan as ours will ward away any predators. Either way, I'm uncomfortable.
I'm of the mind of going to speak with them. But I'm not sure if it's the safer course of action here.
It is speaking typically not safe?
Not when it's a trap.
But if it's a trap, the only way we'll know it's a trap is to spring the trap.
Jaken, what's the visibility like here? Just like
It's pretty
there
good.
aren't.
Okay. There are a
so
few areas where you might dip into some, like, these aren't like hills, but obviously there are elevation changes, and there are a lot of like craggy rock outcroppings that might obscure. And obviously, you're in the middle of the day, there is heat haze all around you, which kind of obscures things. But as far as visibility, pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, because of all the rocks and nooks and crannies and crags, any like low to the ground critters or monsters might get the drop on you. But any mounted individual, unless he goes behind a rock outcropping, you can see him.
The Erasm have a reputation for riding the like dog things. Right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like from the stories, I mean, you guys have heard everything. No one's really seen an Erasm for maybe Genma was alive the last time someone saw an Erasm that wasn't purposely going into their territory to get information on what they were up to. But the stories say, some people say they ride demon dogs, and other people describe this kind of like a chupacabra but huge. You know, this kind of hairless beast. Not horses, no.
Yeah. I just figure like if we're worried about the Erasm surprising us, we're gonna see them coming.
Yeah, and also, again, from the stories you've heard of the Erasm, they would probably have attacked you by now.
Yeah.
By the time you see them coming, it's already too late, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
You want to
not
trek
part of
on?
that
Yep. Sorry, what, Jacob?
You want to trek on?
No, actually, Varkan is gonna split from the caravan. But before he does, like anybody wants to come talk to the stranger with me?
I'm gonna hang back just in case this is some kind of trap.
Perfect. Micah, come with me. We're gonna go see what the stranger's all about.
Okay. As the rider sees you approach, he slows his horse and comes to a stop right around the time you guys intercept him. He's wearing this like burlap brown. It's not really a cloak. It looks like he turned something into like a cloak.
Yeah.
But underneath the cloak, you see hints of armor similar to yours, Varkin. Maybe a little bit more slapdash. Where yours, you're wearing hardened leather,
Yeah.
padded armor, maybe some bits of metal, but everything was bought from a vendor. It's new and piecemealed to form the best kind of protection you can. His looks old and worn and used, and he slashes. And he also has a weapon strapped to his hip. It's not sheathed, and it's this rusty rectangular sword, like a cleaver.
Hey there, stranger. You've been following us for a while.
I did not mean to scare. Can't really see his face, and every part of him is covered in either armor or rags.
If we were scared, we would have run, not come.
He just kind of nods, like, oh, yeah, so you say, Fair enough, yeah.
What is your business here? Why are you following the caravan?
Where the hell did I write the notes about why he's following you? I know it's in here. I'm like reading all these sentences. I'm like, oh, there it is. Got it. I thought that's what it was. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
He says, as you can see, I am alone here in the wild. And I was hoping for company on my travels. I did not want to approach, as my situation is complicated. And the more he talks to you guys and the more you're standing there watching him, even though he's veiled by this cloak, you can tell there's something off about the person beneath the hood. His skin is kind of rusty red, splotched with charcoal. And at some point, it looks like he may not have lips.
You're what? Are you sick? Do you have a disease, a plague, some sort of voracious skin condition?
If I am afflicted, it is of the mind.
That's a yes. To some of them, but not all of them. Probably not the skin condition.
If you are seeking company, an introduction would be important. I am Varkin, Pathfinder. Here's Micah, also Pathfinder. Who might you be?
I am called Kaganis.
What's the origin of that naming convention?
Oh yeah, you would know, wouldn't you? You have no idea. It sounds kind of Quendarian, but not. It's like a lowbrow kind of. If it's Quendarian, you don't recognize it at all. Why don't you give me a no check with intelligence?
Happy to do so. Because I know things. That's a 10.
Yeah, you know. Okay. The vernacular of it almost sounds Araz.
So I'll speak Araz at him.
Okay.
That's that's an interesting take on an uncommon name. Where'd you get it from?
So he kind of like his head kind of snaps to you when you start talking Erasm, and slowly he kind of pulls back the hood to reveal the rest of his head, and he's got no hair, these kind of jagged, long, pointed ears, and you know, 3 pairs of incisors in a lipless mouth, and kind of a stern expression. He is, by the legends, he is Erasm. And he looks like this.
Oh dear.
Hmm. I may I have misspoken earlier, at least on my own behalf. I don't mean to alarm you. But now I'm scared.
Did you say that in Erasm or common?
Common now.
Since Varkan cannot speak Erasm, you just said a sentence in words he cannot understand, and probably got a reply in words he cannot understand, and then you open with, "Now I'm scared." So Varkan is gonna pull out his shield and his weapon and his sword.
Kaganis will kind of like raise his hands. This is what I hoped to avoid. I am, as you see me, I am Araz, a greater Erasm. But I am not like my kin. I have not come for violence.
And you seek company?
I seek many things. First among them, company, yes. For as you are no doubt aware, this land is untamed and dangerous. Moreover, if my kin find me, they will kill me.
But why?
As I said, you could just say that I have an affliction of the mind, a burden of intelligence, and a desire to seek peace. Among my people, this is considered abhorrent.
You are burdened with great purpose.
There are no skills among my people for a life of peace. I seek humans and Saros and others like you so that I may learn how to live with the sword down.
Varkan's gonna look at his sword that is up and be like, "Oh."
Are we the baddies?
Varkan is gonna reply and say, "It's a worthy endeavor to seek peace, even in these troubled lands. On the one hand, I do not wish to chase you off this caravan, for it would be potentially leading you into untold danger by my hand. On the other hand, I cannot simply invite you to join the caravan either, for it is not my caravan. I'm simply a mercenary hired to protect it.
I ask nothing of you. That's it.
Yeah. You can keep following us for the time being. I will go talk to
It's
the
a free
leader.
country.
Yeah, I will go. I will go talk to the leader of the caravan.
He nods and pulls the hood back up.
Hey, you do what you want. You're a sovereign citizen. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm traveling.
So Varkan is gonna, turn around and start heading toward the caravan again. Hopefully Micah follows. Do you follow Micah, or do you stay with the man? Or the greater Araz?
Micah kind of lags behind a little bit, just watching him with dinner plate eyes of terror, and then realizes that you have left and will swing that horse around and like gently urge it into moving faster by, having a conversation with it, as horses are wont to do.
Upon the caravan, Varkan is gonna lead up to Jahan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna say, "That's an interesting encounter out there."
Well, are we in danger? Well,
By
yes,
the
but
word-
actually, no.
Yeah. by the word of the individual, no. However, how did he say it, Micah? What did he say he was?
Araz.
He's a different kind of Erasm. According to his word, he seeks peace and companionship in order to learn how to live a life devoid of warfare and weaponry. Keep the sword down, as he put it. Now,
You're saying, hold on, let me just catch up here. You're saying Araz, one of them evil people who kill people, wants to join my caravan?
he didn't explicitly say join, more accompany.
Well,
And
what the hell's
from
the
what-
difference?
Joining would be settling with you guys. I'm not sure if he's gonna want to settle. He wants to learn. According to his words again. Now, on the one hand, he's a different kind of Erasm, and he says that left to his own device, the regular Erasm, the kind that we know as evil, will tear them apart. On the other hand, he's Erasm and could be lying out of his ass. So, since it's your caravan, I only have two suggestions. Well, three suggestions that we have in front of us. I will do as you would prefer, but here are my suggestions. Number one, I go back and tell him to, leave us alone. Sorry, but not sorry. We cannot have someone follow the caravan around. Number two, he can keep following at this distance. I'll keep a watchful eye on him. If he gets anywhere close, we'll deal with him. And number three, it might surprise you, but since he says he's here for non-violence, if we were to take him to his words and try him, I would allow him to come closer to the caravan for protection and joining us and accompany us and, learning from us, but I would take all his weapons.
So Jahan is just kind of like beside himself, trying to figure this all out. But his wife, who's in the back with some of the younger kids, up front is the oldest son, Kukin. But Elsbeth says, "Well, we hired this gentleman and his Pathfinder companions to lead the way. If he thinks this Raz is not going to kill us in our sleep, we have to trust him here. If we can't trust him now, how can we trust him all the way through the Wild Basin?" And Jahan's like, "Damn. Well, my wife, as usual, was right. I'll leave it up to you. We'll trust your word, but I would appreciate that if he did ride alongside us, that he were unarmed."
Oh, he will be. I am willing to trust him on his words, but not yet with his weapons.
"Well, we're going to put our faith in you. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere, like my wife said. So, do what you think is best for the caravan."
Varkin is gonna look at Micah and say, "Micah, what do you think? I don't think you enjoyed the gentleman."
I wasn't aware of any. Not aware. I hadn't noticed. That could have been due to heightened levels of fear response. But I didn't hear or smell any signs of flatulence from the man. So how would he be lying through his ass?
It's a turn of phrase, Micah.
Okay.
It means just outright lying. Everything he said was a lie.
Oh.
Seamus, the youngest Scarborough boy, goes,
Yeah.
"Ass."
Oh no. Dear Lord.
Also a word for donkey. I'm probably going to remain frightened of him. But I'd rather be frightened of him where I can see what he's doing than frightened of him where I'm not sure what he's doing and he could pounce on me at any moment.
So you would rather keep him close, is what I'm hearing. Ish.
Yes. No, yes. Maybe. Yes.
Very well. Do you want to come back with me? I can deal with this on my own.
I'll go with you, and he may be more comfortable speaking his native tongue.
Oh, is that what you were speaking?
Yes.
Oh. How do you know that tongue?
Well, so in
We're starting to go toward him, like we're conversing on the way there. We're not just conversing here.
Yeah, in my third year of secondary education, they actually had a Languages of the World elective. I took to quite a few of them and did some independent study. As I was saying earlier, Erasm is fascinating in its lack of discourse markers.
I love Caddy's face.
Languages of the world. It's really getting me.
So Micah, he is born and raised and schooled in the country of Sinarket. And Sinarket is kind of a majocracy. So The fact that they have a Languages of the World course that teaches Erasm is 100% understandable, because, yeah. You can read about Sign Arcana over at the website. What little there is to read. I don't want to go into it right now, but so everyone who knows Micah's origin is like, okay, yeah, sure, they teach Erasm there, that makes sense.
I don't know how much knowing their language will serve once they're upon us and trying to kill us, but at least it served here, so good learning.
You learn good.
Well, I presume that if they're barreling down at us over the horizon, I might be able to pick up on a few of the orders that they're shouting amongst themselves.
Oh, yes, you're correct.
Isn't it tactically sound to...
Oh, absolutely. I didn't even think of that advantage. In my school, they taught more like monsters and regular people. I never taught about knowing Erasm and being able to understand them, but now they would fall under the regular people warfare. So yeah, that's good. So yeah, Jaken, we would ride back up to Mr. Kaganis. I tried to write his first name, but I don't think I got it properly.
That journal entry should, under pictures, it should have his name.
Okay, Kaganis, yes.
Kaganis, yes. Alright, so you guys ride over to him and say,
Yep.
Come on down.
Well, not exactly in those terms. Varkan would be like, Mr. Kaganis, I've talked to the
He
caravan
seems
leader.
really confused, like he's never heard the word Mister before.
Yeah. I've talked to the caravan leader.
Gendered honorifics aren't a thing either.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, Kaganis. I've talked to the caravan leader, and he's allowed me the permission to allow you into the caravan. However, there will be conditions if you wish to accompany us from closer.
Before you say anything more, he kind of like quickly, but not in like you're a trained soldier, so he's not doing this in a way to draw his weapon, but he pulls the cleaver out and holds it out for you. Like he knew exactly what you're gonna come ask.
Varkan is gonna kind of smirk at that, and he's gonna grab the weapon and just like kind of put it on his lap for now. He's gonna say, "Any other hidden weapons?"
He pulls out a knife and he says, "It's more for meat." And then he like rather skillfully flips it over so he's holding the blade and then holds it out, handle first.
He's gonna grab it and he's gonna say, "Maybe at some point you can have it back on a more regular basis, but for now we'll go on a building trust exercise." So, yes, one thing though is there are younglings on this caravan that might have never seen an Erasm. More for your sake than theirs, I would suggest that you keep the hood up. Or the hood on, rather.
I will keep my distance. I have no intention of scaring human children.
Yes, I understand that your intentions are peaceful and amicable. However, your kind, well, not your kind specifically, but the Erasm has a legendary repute within the various nations from which we come from of being rather violent. So even though you do not seek to scare people, you will by your simple appearance.
I understand.
There's some historical biases that we need to move through.
No, your apprehension is well justified and deserved. my people, if you had encountered any Erasm, Uraraz, or our lessers, other than myself, you would have reason to be wary.
Well, now that we've established and introduced ourselves, glad to meet you. Happy to meet you. And let's be on our way because we've got a long travel ahead of us.
Very well. He kind of like squeezes his horse into movement, and as he trots next to the two of you, he goes, "Where are you headed, if you don't mind me asking?"
Westward, deeper into the what's it called? Give me a sec. The Stele Vale.
I see.
Beyond the Wild Basin.
Ah, yes. I have heard of a Rosm that far west.
Yes, we've also heard that their activity has picked up. Even as far as where the rest of us have settled, eastward of the Fallen Tower.
My people are once again on the move.
It appears so.
It is so.
Any insight as to why?
After the end of hostilities with your people, my people turned to each other. The strong against the weak. In a generational cycle vying for control. That control has been solidified now into a handful of warlords. The one active in the southern region of the farmland to the west is a force known as the Fist of the Molten Crown.
I'm sorry, what region?
Southern of the farmland. South of the farmland.
He doesn't know the name Chamber, but he's talking about where you guys are headed.
Yeah. I figured from the context.
So south of the chamber, and it was Fist
The
of
southern-
the what crown?
Fist of the Molten Crown.
Molten. Thank you.
And I assume that these warlords are more or less working in, we'll call it competition cooperation, I presume, in the sense that they each got their territory.
For now, the infighting has ceased. Instead, they have finally realized that our territory, the Deadlands, are not worth fighting over. This
So
is
they want to
unfortunate for
expand.
you, because your lands are worth fighting for.
There would be some of my people that would actually be happy to have something worth fighting for.
Be careful
Alas,
what you wish for.
oh, trust me, I do not wish it myself, although I do want to make a name for myself, but not through a war, through great deeds, and that's it. But there are some of my people that, much akin the violent Erasm, are violent themselves. They disguise it better, but they would do everything for a war, so hopefully it doesn't come to that.
It's so interesting. You're describing my people. And yet the first of your kind I meet have opposite goals to me. It is my wish to fade into obscurity. To learn to bring life from the land and eat its crop as you do. What do you call it? Farming?
Yes.
I wish to farm.
You,
Well,
he just wants to live a cottagecore dream.
if you prove true to your words, which you will excuse me, but there might be a little bit of time before I fully trust into those words, it will come a time that you will be able to farm the lands.
Switching to Erasm, he turns to Micah. And the only word that Varkin understands is because there's no translation to it in the Erasm tongue. He says, "What does trust mean?"
It is a social nicety between two or more parties in which there is an implicit understanding that neither party intends to do harm to the other.
Thank you. That's what I thought. I had to be sure.
You're welcome. I don't know if I got the syntax right on that. There's no direct correlation to your language for that phrase either.
You speak like a child, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Fair.
I mean, fair.
It's me speaking Spanish.
Well, Varkan doesn't really have anything to say, although every time he speaks to Razim, Varkan's kind of, not this again.
And it's probably, like, really harsh, you know? And,
Yeah.
like...
angry sounding.
Yeah, like German, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I was about to say, I hope they have like really long compound words. I bet they have noun cases.
But yeah, back in the caravan,
So back in the
Varkan
caravan, Kaganis is like takes a position maybe 10 yards on your right. Much closer than he was before, but like keeping
still
his
a
distance.
respectable
Yeah,
distance, yeah.
yeah,
And,
exactly. Angrier German chat. Yes.
So Varkan doesn't really have any way, like he doesn't have additional sheets or whatever, but he doesn't want to disrespect the weapons of the person he just added to the caravan. So he's gonna go see the blacksmith,
Okay.
and he's gonna say, these are the weapons of our new additional member.
We have an additional member?
Yes, Varkan is gonna say a person of the name Kaganis.
Oh, yeah, I see him. These are his
Okay.
weapons?
Yes. Could you keep them safe?
Of course. Shall I sharpen them?
Not yet.
And then he like pulls them out, he's like, these are weapons? He's like, what the hell? he's a classically trained dwarf craftsman.
Yes. These are probably crap, like a hunting knife and a cleaver.
Yeah.
He said that one was more for meat.
Yes.
Alright. I will keep them safe.
Thank you.
I half hope that when he gets them back, they're like better because he just couldn't stand having them so often.
If just by the way, out of character, but so you're in the mindset of Varkan, if the man Kaganis proves true to his word, Varkan is gonna have the dwarf potentially like sharpen them and maybe even give him an actual better weapon. I know he said he's not a guy of warfare, but it's just a token of gratitude. Assuming he doesn't backstab one of us. Let's hope that my gut feeling is proper here.
Okay.
I feel like he won't. His character art.
He has character art. That's like saying he's not gonna die. He's in the credits.
Yep.
So, as I was sitting there not wanting to talk because I had the small boy in my lap, I was like, I think I've essentially got a mirror in my lap right now from the caravan.
Yeah, practically.
Can you tell them to close the door, please? I don't know how much y'all can hear, but they're loud.
A bit.
Yes. We saw your face when there was a high-pitched, excited noise.
They're excited to be home, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Well, also our son's not feeling good.
Not
Yeah,
again.
I noticed the hand.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mom hand.
He's a mild fever and a stomach ache, or a stummy ache, as he calls it.
A stummy ache.
Aw.
Oh,
Oh no. That's the cutest sad thing ever.
I tell you right now, he probably just doesn't want to go to school. That's it.
Probably. He'd have to spend the whole day away
I'd
from
believe
you.
that if your mom hadn't said he's been barely eating.
Okay. Well, my child's potential illness notwithstanding, let's carry on.
yes.
All right. You guys trek through the wild basin. You guys can occasionally spot a hare or a lizard. But for the most part, it's just like you just hear the rushing wind all day. And then the terrain looks more the same than it looks different. And it's dry and hot, and at night it's cold, and you're wrapped in your blankets and making sure the fire. You'll wake up if the fire goes out, and you'll reignite it as it gets frigid. And 2 days pass. Kaganis doesn't slit anyone's throat, and
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
I like to think that Varkan tries to make friend with Kaganis, but Kaganis is probably a little bit more dry cut, so Varkan does not push his luck. So every once in a while, he kind of slides to Kaganis and then comes back to Caravan because conversation's not going exactly, in a friendly manner.
Okay. So the night of the ninth night, the night of the ninth day, you guys make camp, and you guys are keeping your usual vigil. Things are winding down. Everyone's getting ready to sleep. You guys don't walk all day. You walk 8 hours a day, and then you stop to let the horses, and you guys not get saddle sore. So there's like a large part of the day where everyone's just kind of around the camp, cooking and doing their hobbies, and what they can do, what you brought with you. Now the sun is beginning to set, you all notice that there is a campfire on the horizon that you didn't see during the day, but now that the sun is setting, you can see the orange glow of the fire and the smoke covering the stars.
And we have fires of our own, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Varkan is going to point out the fire and say, whoever made this fire, if we can see them, they can see us.
Well, yeah. This place is flatter than a dinner plate. So they could be, a day's ride away.
Don't dinner plates have a little bit of curvature in them to collect?
Yeah, I did a plot. I
Yeah.
did say flatter.
That is an excellent point. My apologies.
Thank you.
Does the fire look tiny, or does it look like
Yeah,
good
the one in the
size?
distance?
Yeah.
I'd say you guys probably have 3 or 4 fires going, and maybe an extra one for Kaganis off to the side. They have one in the distance.
But, I mean, is it smaller than a candle flame? What?
If it were a candle flame, you wouldn't be able to see it.
No, just distance wise.
From perspective.
Yeah, it looks like. You guys have traveled. This looks like a small fire, maybe a campfire.
I was just trying to make sure it wasn't like a bonfire.
Right, no, it's not the countryside on fire or a bonfire, yeah. Again, you didn't even notice it while the sun was still up.
Yeah, and we can only count one, so...
Yeah.
Army-wise, at best, it's a scouting party. But honestly, without more information, could just be a random person or whatever.
Yeah, other travelers.
Yeah.
You can ignore it, or you can go say hi, or go scout yourself.
No. I'm not leaving by the fire.
Yeah, normally Varkin would be the one to go scout, but going into the darkness...
Yeah.
I'm getting the feeling Caddy's like, I have 1 hit point.
And you know
Like,
what?
if we
So
keep
do
climbing all
y'all.
these crags, we're gonna die.
I don't, I got 7, I'm invulnerable.
Alright, you guys get up to go investigate, you trip, you take 1 damage.
Game over.
I read what
Good
ants
night.
can do to you in DQ.
Counter scouting sounds like fun.
You want to go scouting, Micah?
I mean,
Micah's
if you guys
kind of
want
like
it scouted, I'll go.
kind of like
Kind of my thing.
rocking back and forth at the edge of like the light of our fire, looking at it like, I want to go see what's there.
Come
wanna
on,
go see
Micah.
what's there.
I'll take you.
Yes.
You're not leaving without me, so I'll accompany.
Oh my god, you're all gonna die out there, and I'm gonna have to watch. And I'll join in.
Okay, everybody, you guys gonna be sneaky, or are you just gonna march up?
Oh,
I'm gonna be sneaky.
Okay,
Oh yeah, sneaky.
let's do Dex stealth.
Oh
sneak.
no.
Oh, wait. Yeah, there we go, I get it, I did it, I done did it.
It'd be literally anything else than dexterity for me.
There's still a dead zone where the dice fall off the screen. 7, 6, 7, 7.
Yeah, pretty middle range.
Okay. As you guys approach, you hear a voice coming from someone you don't see say, "That's close enough."
Not as sneaky as we
Can't-
thought.
I can't see anyone, so I don't think we're close enough.
And Varkin is gonna reply, and Erasm doesn't speak as far as we know, so that's good.
I am not a Razim. Who are you, and why have you approached my camp?
Answer me these riddles 3.
We are Pathfinders. Providing protection for a caravan camped near here, and we had reports of Erasm around these parts. We were checking if this fire couldn't be an Erasm party.
The 4 of you are kind of scanning around looking for the voice, and a humanoid figure kind of stands up from behind a bush, and he's holding a musket. In this world, we're at the dawn of flintlock as far as technology goes, but they're not widely available. Obviously, in real life, firearms were cheaper than swords, but in this fantasy world, they're not. So the fact that this guy has a rifle means he probably got it while serving in the East, because the East is where firearms come from. They have all the advancements in military technology that the West lacks.
Or optionally, he killed someone who had that weapon,
Exactly.
but let's assume that he got it.
Regardless, though, he has a musket, and these things are dangerous, and if you weren't worried about your hit points before, this thing will surely hurt if you are shot with it. But he's not leveling it at you, he's kind of has it down.
Yeah.
And he says, "Very well, see for yourself." And he's got this wide-brimmed hat and a duster coat, and he walks over to this kind of drop-off where his camp is in this small basin.
Yep.
And as you guys approach, there are 2 other individuals dressed like him, and they have a wagon that is unique. It looks like it has a pair of horses, and there are 2 more horses tied to bushes that are eating. You know, they have their meal bags over their mouths.
Yep.
But the wagon looks like, the front half looks like your normal wagon, and the back half is a cage. And inside of it is a human, who's bloodied and bruised, and there is another human near the fire, shackled, and all around him are drops of splattered blood. And one of the guys with the hats is standing over him.
Varkan's gonna say, an interesting display, but not a Razim as you promised. What did these poor sod do?
These, he gestures, they're road agents. They're from the southern region of Vena Crubis. They killed a bailiff. They have a bounty on them. My company and I are bounty hunters. We're looking for the rest of their troop. Forgive the aroma and atmosphere, but in the Wild Basin there are no laws. And we will
Vegas,
do
goddammit.
what we must. I take it you come from the larger camp, and he gestures over to the fires of your camp.
Yep. Varkan's just gonna nod.
A caravanserai?
If it can be called that, yes.
Bold, traveling through the Wild Basin, but I suppose in the winter months you could not risk the bitter hills.
You are correct.
Tell me, have you seen any unscrupulous characters on your travels so far? We're seeking 2 more like these ruffians.
No, we haven't met anybody else on these roads aside from you guys.
Hmm.
Well, they're But-
Those were not
Draganas-
on the Wild Basin. The ones with the knight. They
No,
were
that was still in
before.
Vena Crubis, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
no, but we met.
Micah, we haven't
we
met
met-
two. We haven't met 2 unscrupulous characters.
You met one?
I don't know that
We've-
I'd go so far to call him unscrupulous.
Yeah, and not human.
Well, believe it or not, one of the ones we're looking for is a halfling.
Oh
Oh.
no, absolutely not.
We haven't met a halfling either.
Hmm. Well, thank you for stopping by. Good luck on your travels, and if you see any more, a halfling and a man similar to these, slow them down for us.
Oh, understood.
Will do. And
Sure,
The
enjoy your
shackled
night.
man looks up, one of his eyes closed from bruising. He goes, "Help me!" And then behind him, holding a crossbow, takes the butt of it and hits him in the shoulder.
That hardly seems polite.
Varkan's gonna turn to Micah and he's gonna say, "These men have bounties on them. They've done horrible things. Understandably, that beating an unarmed man is not polite, but as the man in front of us said, there's no laws in the Wild Basin."
The bounty hunter steps over to Micah and looks down at him. This guy's like over 6 foot tall, kind of long and lanky. He's looking down at Micah and goes, "The youths of today, so spoiled. Go back to your caravan. We have work to do."
Come on, guys, let's go. They're not a Razim.
Oh, yeah, turn around. I start leaving.
What did they do wrong?
They're murderers and thieves.
They killed a bailiff, according to this gentleman.
Mike is gonna look over at the guy that's shackled and be, did you kill a bailiff?
I wouldn't know how to fly. And then another butt hit
cut
in the
out
shoulder.
Your mic didn't pick up, but I'm assuming you said no, I didn't.
He said I wouldn't hurt a fly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Micah,
Hey.
these are not our business.
Michael kind of huff back to camp with everyone else, grumbling to himself the whole way about this isn't fair. They say they didn't do anything wrong. I thought we were supposed to be the good guys. How are we gonna let them get away with this? That sort of stuff.
At
Yeah.
some point, I think Rose is gonna be it's like, I understand your feelings, Micah, but we can't know whose side either one of them's on, and it's just too dangerous to risk freeing them if they are bad.
I mean, we didn't know that the knight wasn't going around just killing people with impunity either.
He was a knight.
I'm on Micah's side for the knight. A knight cannot be a knight without upholding the law, upholding the words of knightlyhood.
I mean, a knight can be a knight as long as they know enough people who say they're real gems.
That's not how knightlyhood work. I was trained in military order. They are the utmost gentlemen. My mentor told me.
My concern, though, is if there is no law out here, what right did those men have to detain those other men? Is it
On principle, none.
Yep. That's really about
There's
it.
also nothing stopping them from just killing us from what we wandered into their camp. So the fact that they gave us a chance,
We
makes them less assholes?
No,
But
it means we
still
survived it. Yeah.
it's more of a safety thing. Micah, had it been only you and you had wanted to free these men, I would have considered it with you. However, we have additional duties that await us. We have been hired to protect a caravan. Our word and honor rides on this job. As much as it pains me, we have to let the seven go. We don't know who was in the right, who was in the wrong. Yes, these guys seemed a little bit asshole-ish, but we couldn't help it without risking everybody else. We have additional lives in the balance that we need to consider before we go saving the damsel, man in distress, prince in distress.
Speaking of, we are kind of at risk if they are lacking in scruples, as now they know that we're over here, that we're generally not gonna put up a fight. They've got big weapons. So the sooner we can put some distance between us and them, I don't want them thinking we'll go after their bounty.
I don't feel we gave the vibe that we would be going after their bounty. On that front, we're safe, but I do agree that if they were lacking any sort of supplies or anything, the caravan could be in some sort of danger. A quick look at their camp seems to indicate that they were well organized, but that doesn't change the fact that bandits can be well organized as well. I don't think the caravan is ready to move, but I will make sure to stay on watch all night if needs be.
And he did just that. The bounty hunters, as they say, stick to themselves all night, and in the following day, the two parties, proceed in opposite directions.
Yep, cross paths and that's it.
As the day moves on, you guys come across an area with lots of rocks, and you're navigating a twisting path that the wagons can can traverse between these rock outcroppings as far as the eye can see in this patch of the wild basin. And eventually you come upon very large centipedes.
Thank
At,
God it's not spiders.
at first, they seem uninterested, just large. I mean, these are like 2 feet long, up to a foot in width centipedes. They seem uninterested, but as soon as the caravan is in their midst, they hiss and charge forward. So, when we get back from break, you guys will be rolling initiative. So we're going to take 15 minutes. We'll be back 15 after-ish, and we have another hour 45 of Session 1 of Embers of the Vale. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope everyone's having a good time, and let's see if our party of 1 hit point people can survive the swarm of giant centipedes. We'll be back.
Yay.
Hello everybody, we're back. Y'all ready to fight? Y'all ready to kung fu battle?
Let's try that.
No.
Do you want to die?
Well,
You're gonna die, baby. You're gonna die.
I decided, since we're playing an old school revival game, that I was going to run this campaign with an old school flair. So almost all of these encounters are random. And it just so happens that the first combat encounter is against creatures that do non-lethal damage. So, let's see
But
what
I mean,
happens.
if everybody
The
is
Lord
non
gods have shined upon us.
if everybody is non-lethal down, I feel like the lethal part comes after.
Okay, so there are 14 giant centipedes.
14. Holy hell.
There are 14 giant centipedes. They are attacking the whole of the caravan, with at least 3 attacking each of the 4 wagons. You are all at the head, but you're on horseback, which means in 1 round you can get to any wagon you want. And then as your alternate action, as your main action, you can dismount the horse and get involved in combat. So, Worlds Without Number combat is side-based initiative. So you're going to nominate one person to be your kind of team leader who's going to roll initiative. You probably want to pick the person with the highest dexterity because you get a dex mod.
bonuses.
Then I would say you, because if I roll, we'll never go first.
Yeah, no, I have a notice or alert. I have alert.
Wow, I actually just flipped to the system quick reference sheet. Just flipped right to it. Providence.
I'm proud of you.
I
Thank you.
cannot be surprised, nor can others use the execution attack upon me. I get a +1 bonus to our side's initiative roll.
Yeah, there's no surprise here because you guys saw the giant centipedes. It is surprising that they decided to attack, but not that they didn't come out of nowhere. You're like, giant centipedes, weird.
+1 initiative, so.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d8 plus 1, and they're going to roll a d8, and you guys win ties.
There's actually an initiative thing on your sheet.
Oh, they got an 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can't roll it. Never mind.
Yeah.
So you'll have
Because
to
you have to have a
manually do it.
token, and we're not playing with tokens. Yeah, and I should point out for the audience, we're doing a theater of the mind. Unless it becomes too much of a hassle, then we'll bust out the maps. But I like the not having a map just because it's... Wow! You managed to tie it, and you guys win ties. Okay, so there are the 4 of you. There are the 2 brothers, 1 in each of the first 2 wagons. I mean, people can defend themselves against giant centipedes, right? So it's not like you're absolutely needed each place, but could get bad.
Well,
also, Kaganis. Kaganis will also join the fight.
Well, Kaganis doesn't have any weapons.
True, but he's strong.
Okay. He punch a man.
He punch. On the first round of combat, you can attack with ride to try to get your horse to trample if you want. But you can only do it on the first round of combat because after that, the centipedes will be on the wagon. Your horse would do more harm than good.
You don't tell me how to live my life. Let me freaking Star Wars starship warp inside a cart.
So, you guys want initiative? You get to decide how you want to go, but the 4 of you get to go before the 14 centipedes.
Okay, so charge or ride. What would that be?
All right, so combat. Everybody gets. There are 4 types of actions in combat. The main action is what you'd expect. You know, that's your main action. Like in D&D, that's your attack. That's your disengage. Well, they call it fighting withdrawal. Everyone gets a move. You have to use all your move at once, so you can't move partially. Take a main action, then move some more. You have to. When you take the move action, you have to move. You can spend your main action to move again. Another type of action is called the on-turn action. These actions, you have an infinite within reason. Like, you can't... I mean, like, if at some point I say, okay, that's enough. I don't know if anyone's ever going to get there, but on-turn actions are something you can do on your turn that doesn't take enough time to take away from your main action or your move. And then the last one is an instant action. This is your 5th edition reaction. So an instant action, when triggered, allows you to act outside of someone else's turn. And those usually have triggers that let you know when they can happen, like attack of opportunity is an instant action. You guys can move. You're mounted, so you can get anywhere along the wagon in one move, along the caravan. So just tell me which wagon you want to fight with, and then you move there. You don't need to move if you're fighting at wagon 1, because you guys are right there. You can either... It's a move action to dismount, which means if you want to move and dismount, you need to spend your main action to dismount. Or you can try to get your horse to trample a centipede on round 1 with a ride. It's basically going to be a ride attack check.
A ride. I am not good at riding. So Varkin will move toward...
They're just wagons 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So that's how we're talking about it. Wagon 1 is in the front, wagon 4 is in the back.
Yeah, okay, so Jahan can defend himself somewhat. He's a veteran. Soret should be able to defend himself as well, because he's also a veteran. Which leaves the supply cart and the elven cart. And the blacksmith potentially cart, right?
Yeah. The blacksmith is no warrior, but Hildane, the woman of the elven couple, she knows how to fight.
She knows how to fight?
They both probably know how to fight, but she is an archer. You know, like, they're elves.
Yeah.
They've lived a long time. They know what to do, and they've been around, so they know how to fight.
Well, I have a bow, so can my bow reach any centipede?
Yeah, you can just shoot from here if you want.
I probably will.
Varkin's gonna move to cart 3, which I believe is the supply cart held by Arkin, and he's gonna dismount and get ready.
Okay,
That's
you
my
move to wagon 3 and dismount?
Yep.
Okay.
We said the front wagon, the one that we're at, is the one with all the kids.
All the kids, but the kids kind of, depending on the day, they might move to the second wagon with their uncle and aunt and their cousin, and they'll kind of swap between them. So the first 2 have all the kids, yeah.
Okay. Which one currently has more kids? That's the one Mike is going to be at.
The front wagon.
Okay. Then, I mean, none of you have any idea what it means because you've never seen it before. But Micah will. You said it's a move action to dismount.
Yep.
Action.
Okay.
It's a move action
Mike-
to dismount.
Yes.
Right. Micah will hop down off of his horse and then start, like, standard wizard, funny words coming out of his mouth. Wind picks up a little bit around him. Hands start going into intricate
Almost.
gestures. It's very if this were an anime, it would be like cowboy jutsu. And I mean, we're just kind of knocking these actions out as they go.
Yeah, each person take their turn. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's your turn now.
Yeah. So centered on the front wagon, so that like we are not included in this.
Okay.
Micah is just going to cast the Wind of Final Repose.
Okay. You could throw that into chat so that I can read it. I know what it does. I just want to get the finer details. So, a silent invisible burst of soporific influence, which means sleepiness, erupts from that point, targeting all living creatures within a 20-foot radius. All such targets with 4 or fewer hit dice within the area fall unconscious instantly. Okay, so everyone in the front wagon and all the centipedes around them just go.
And then just for, effect, Micah is then going to reach for his dagger and look at one of the centipedes.
Okay. That's that. So leaves Rose and Genma.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you go ahead.
I wanted to ride towards the second, but I wanted to do the ride check to try and crush some of these bad boys on the way.
Okay. So you're not. This isn't going to be a skill check because skill checks use 2d6 and attack checks use d20. So you're gonna have to do a custom roll here. So do d20 plus dex and plus your ride skill.
Plus ride. Okay, so it's just a flat d20.
12. That's gonna hit.
Crunch, crunch. And is that my action?
That's your action.
And
yeah.
my movement?
Your move was to get to wagon 2, and your action is to trample one of the centipedes.
Yes.
Which you
okay.
do. He's
I
dead.
was just making sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, since the ones in the front are asleep, I'm not gonna worry about them just yet. I'm just gonna shoot at one of the wagons, or at one of the centipedes back.
The very back, like wagon 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so do I just roll this d20 on my sheet?
There should be under your equipment, I think.
Yeah, like if I hover over the large bow, it just shows a d20.
Yeah, roll that.
Sweet.
12. Oh no, wait. Yeah, 12. That's a hit. And that's a dead centipede. Okay, so end of the round. Micah and Rose.
I need to keep track of my arrows, right?
Yes, you need to keep track of your arrows. And it's an on-turn action to knock an arrow. So you don't have to worry about it, basically. Micah and Rose are at wagon 1 with 4 unconscious centipedes. Genma is at wagon 2 with 3 centipedes. Varkin is at wagon 3 with 3 centipedes. And there are at least 2 centipedes, if not more, at wagon 4. And they are now going to attack. So the ones at wagon 3 will just make one attack roll to see how the NPCs fare. And they have a +1 to hit. Oof. Okay. The elves weren't ready. Hildane does not get her bow fast enough. It wasn't even slung, it wasn't strung. And the centipedes come upon the 2 elves and they bite into them, and they're unconscious. Next, Varkin, you're going to be attacked. You dismounted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going to be attacked by at least 1 centipede. They freaking miss. I just realized I'm rolling these dice like a freaking dumbass. I have giant centipede character sheet right here. Stupid. I shouldn't do it. This should be that. Cool. Thank you. Okay. Where was I? Okay, yeah, and Wagon 3 only has the one dwarf, so another one is going to attack.
Wagon 4.
We're on Wagon 3 right now.
You,
The Wagon 4 attacked the elves. Wagon 3 is the
I
dwarf.
thought Wagon 3 was the elves.
No, the elves
No.
are in the back.
My bad.
You said 4. You said 3 when you meant 4 originally on the elves.
My bad. Ooh, well, good thing there's no crit in this game. Okay, so I assume a 21 beats your AC.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So unless you want to use Veteran's Luck, you have been bit by a centipede.
Does it make me immediately go down?
No, you are poisoned. It doesn't do any damage, but you are immediately poisoned.
And for the sake of it, I'll use Veteran's Luck.
Okay, you want to post it. You're using this as an instant action to negate an attack.
Yep.
Did it twice for some reason. There we go.
I didn't know that clicking on it worked.
Okay.
I clicked the actual dice.
All right, so that giant centipede is going to miss you. The other one is going to attack the dwarf tier gain, and the NPCs are just unlucky. The dwarf is bit and unconscious. All right, Wagon 2, Genma, you're on your horse, so that means your horse is being attacked.
Oh.
I'm going to give it your AC, just because I don't have the horse's stats on hand. Does a 13 hit?
13?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you pull the reins and your horse moves its
it
leg.
matches?
It matches?
Yeah.
Okay, then it is a hit.
Okay.
But it wasn't fast enough. The centipede bites into your horse's leg and give me a ride check, a skill check in this case.
I can find the button. There it is. 6.
Okay. Being bit, the horse bucks and you are thrown off it. And give me an evasion save as you're thrown off the horse. Failure? Genma. You're unconscious.
Yeah.
The fall and probably getting kicked on the way down, you take damage. It doesn't matter how much damage you are mortally wounded because you only have 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And the horse is probably going to take off. So, double bad.
Yeah.
All right. Nothing happens in Wagon 1 because they're all asleep. Y'all's turn. Everyone saw Genma get thrown and kicked on her way down, and she just falls to the ground in a heap.
Micah just kind of looks up at Rose. You gonna get that?
Guess I'll try.
Are you moving over to Wagon 2?
Yeah, I guess I may as well trample a centipede on my way.
Okay. Before you do that, I should let you guys know what it's like to be mortally wounded. So once you're mortally wounded, you have 6 rounds. No rolls, no modifiers. You have 6 rounds before you die. In order to be stabilized, you need to be healed or a stabilizing action. A stabilizing action is a heal check, and I believe that there is a penalty equal to the number of rounds you've been down. Yes, okay. So to stabilize a mortally wound, it's either Dex or Intelligence plus heal, with a difficulty of 8 plus the number of full rounds since the target was felled. So this turn right now, the difficulty is 8. Next turn, the difficulty will be 9.
Cool. But I do want to trample a centipede.
Okay.
So what was that?
That's a D20 plus ride plus Dex.
So it's just a flat D20.
Okay. Your horse misses. The centipede wiggles away.
That's fine. Now I'm gonna try and heal.
Well, you're gonna have to do that next turn.
Right.
Okay. So that's Rose.
I had to get there first, right?
Yep. You moved to Wagon 2. You used your main action to trample, and now it's Elle's turn. Who's up?
I'm reading something, so if somebody can go.
Micah's just gonna pull his dagger and stab a sleeping centipede.
Okay, sleeping centipede's dead. That just leaves you. Oh, Kaganis is gonna gallop over to Wagon 4 and dismount.
Bold move for somebody with no weapons, but I respect that. Okay, Jaken. I want to make a melee attack to one of the centipede next to me.
Mm-hmm.
For 18 AC.
Okay. Why do you do 6 shock?
I don't know, I just put the short sword in. It's not me that made it.
What's your strength bonus?
+2.
Pretty sure you should only be doing 4 shock. Either way, they only have 1 hit point. He's dead. We'll have to look at that. Because I don't think you should be doing 6 shock. That's a lot of shock.
Oh, it's a killing blow.
Killing blow adds...
Here.
Add half their character level rounded up to the damage done and to shock. That counts for 1 of it. I still don't know where the last one is coming from.
Yeah, we can look into that after.
Yeah.
It might be 1 too high. And then I want to make a snap attack, which is an instant action. Against the second centipede that's attacking me.
Yeah?
Essentially, it's a normal attack, but it takes a -4 penalty to hit.
Okay.
Can be used to interrupt somebody else's action too.
Yep.
So inventory, short sword, roll. Assistant modifier -4, roll. Oh, good shit!
Hey! Okay, you killed another one.
I believe there's only one last on
Yes.
this on the cart.
Yeah, so Wagon 1, 3 unconscious centipedes and Micah. Wagon 2, 2 centipedes, a bleeding out Genma and Rose. Wagon 3, 1 centipede and Varkin. Wagon 4, 3 centipedes and Kaganis. Alright. Centipedes. Let's have Kaganis is gonna be fine. He has enough hit points that if he goes down this combat, I'd be fucking astounded. So let's do the one against Varkin.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit?
That's a hit, yeah.
Okay, you
So
are
I'm poisoned.
Okay, and next, Rose, one of the centipedes is going to attack you.
You mean my horse?
Yes, your horse. Your horse evades. And yeah. Y'all's turn.
I'm gonna heal Genma.
Okay, Kaganis is going to kill a centipede.
Micah's gonna kill a centipede.
Okay.
I'm gonna kill the centipede next to me.
Okay.
So who wants to go first for the rolls?
You go ahead.
Okay. Might not be enough.
No, you missed.
I'm gonna use an instant action to try again with a -4.
Okay.
That's not how I wanted the scene to go, but it's fine. No, absolutely miss.
Okay. All right, so Rose.
Well, that's gonna fail me then.
Your choice of Dex or Intelligence. You're rolling heal, and you're trying to get a 9.
Well, they're both the same, so it didn't really matter. Damn it.
Close, but no cigar.
Okay. We have a serious problem, yeah. The healer went down. It's not good. All right.
Expert may reroll any non-combat skill check as expert to make a roll, then immediately use the ability if the resulting total isn't good enough to succeed.
You cut
Yeah,
out.
you're using.
Can you paste
she's using the expert reroll.
This allows the
Easy
expert to make a
one.
roll and then immediately use this ability if the resulting total isn't good enough to succeed. In case where it matters, the better of the two rolls may be used. Yeah, okay, so re-roll.
Case where it matters.
Oh, sorry, Iggy. My bot slapped you.
I tried.
Sorry, Iggy. The bot is zealous.
It is relentless.
Okay, so even with your masterful expertise, Jen was still bleeding out. Okay, Rose, you're being attacked.
Am I still on my horse?
Wait, who was poisoned?
I was.
No, you had to get off your horse to treat, and that was your move.
Okay, so I'm not
You
on
take 1 damage at the start of your turn, and then give me a physical save at the end of your turn.
Me?
Uh-oh.
Yes, you.
That hits me.
So I take 1 damage.
Yeah, we'll take 1 damage and give me a physical save.
6 HP.
And
then
Rose, you're poisoned.
Save. Nope.
Okay. This isn't going well.
Nope.
Or it's going great. Depends on who you're rooting for. Varkin, you're being attacked again.
Nope.
I don't think you can get poisoned twice. So this thing is just attacking you for flavor. And that's it. So y'all's turn. Rose,
I'm gonna.
take 1 damage.
Hey, I'm unconscious.
Okay.
Well, that's a problem.
Kaganis,
I've been down 2 rounds now.
yes.
Okay.
Kaganis kills a centipede.
Okay.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, hey. I forgot that centipede at this point should have made a morale check. New to the system, so let's wind the clock back to the beginning of last turn. If they... Where did I put this fucking...
Hey, I thought the guys in Wagon 2 weren't unconscious.
No,
What the hell are
wagon.
they doing?
Wagon
Wagon 1 is
one.
unconscious.
But
Yeah,
they don't know how to fight
Wagon
us.
one. Yeah, we had 2 guys that could fight. Wagon 1 and Wagon 2. Wagon 1, they are unconscious, sadly because of the spell, but it was a good spell, a good use of that spell. Wagon 2 should still have a veteran up unless he got poisoned at some point, but I missed it.
Yeah, I didn't see him. I didn't.
It's just useless.
Okay. These giant centipedes need to make a morale check. I could have sworn I statted every... Oh, wait. I statted them right here. The audience is staring at my stats. Alright, let's make a morale check for the centipedes. Success. Okay. Never mind.
Hey, Wagon 2. It's got a fighter, right? The hell's he been doing?
Oh, you know what? That's a really good point. So let's go ahead and let's kill off 1 more of them, and let's go ahead and do a DC 9 medicine check on Genma with a +1. 2d6 +1. So if they get a 9 or higher, Genma is...
Nope.
Oof, okay. But that means there's only 1 centipede left on Wagon 2, and Sorth can handle that, and his wife can try to treat 1 of you. So yeah, so Varkin and Micah.
I'm gonna kill the last centipede on my end, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I think that's a hit.
Yeah, you did.
Perfect. I'm gonna move to shield the healer that we have left, the 1 healer that we have left. And by the way, that move is called Screen an Ally. So I can...
Is that a main turn action, or...?
No, it's a move action.
Well, you need to move to get to them before you can screen them.
No, as part of this, the PC moves up to their normal move right towards an ally and then physically blocks opponents from attacking them.
Okay.
So, as part of the thing, I move there and screen them.
Okay. And you also took 1 damage, and you need to give me a physical save.
Perfect. I'll add that to my sheet. So 5. Physical roll. I
Okay,
believe
you're
that's
no
a
longer
success.
poisoned.
Perfect. And there's one last. No, I think is it dead on this cart? So cart number 2.
There's one left on cart number 2, but I think his name is Solith or Sorith. I don't remember.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's gonna handle it.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna screen her just to be safe. So that's my turn.
Okay.
Without my horse, can I move to wagon 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can only move like one wagon without your horse per round.
Okay. I'm gonna move from wagon 1 because they're all asleep to wagon 2. Whoever Janie is not running to attend to, I will run to attend to the other one.
Okay, Janie's trying to treat Genma, so you're going to try to treat Rose.
Yep. And so move, main action would be treat.
Actually, I think at this point everyone should treat Genma, because Genma is dying. Rose isn't, because the poison is non-lethal.
Okay.
So I think everyone should just treat Genma, because Rose ain't dying.
Got it. Okay, so I'll run
In my
to help.
encounter with non-lethal
I'm
enemies,
just
she got kicked by a
very
horse.
much unconscious.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you said it is an on-turn action to like pull an item?
Yeah, if it's
Depending?
readied.
It is readied. I have a healer's pouch.
Okay, what does that do?
I have no idea.
It gets rid of the -2 per round, I believe.
Okay, so you're just got DC 8 then on your int. I'll verify that, but let's go with it. That sounds right to
wait,
me.
it's if the healer lacks any useful medical implements, the difficulty for the skill check is increased by 2.
Oh.
So it gets rid of the -2 for not having implements.
Yeah. Very useful. Also, there was no way that that Rose. Well, I mean, she would have had to roll a lot higher. Okay, cool. So,
Rose didn't know that. Rose was trying
DC
to
10.
DC 10 heal intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Or dexterity. If you
Any
prefer.
modifiers?
Nope.
Okay.
Ah, so close. Are you an expert? Can you re-roll? I don't remember your
Nope.
class.
No,
I'm
he's
an
he's a mage.
invoker.
Yeah.
okay. So the last round of combat, pretty much. The centipede's going to attack Varkin, because it's
I'm being noisy and attracting them.
Yep. And you're poisoned once more.
Okay.
Okay, so good guy's turn. Giganus kills this one, and Sorith kills the other one. So combat is over.
Technically.
So everybody conscious who still has their main turn action can DC 11 to try to save Genma here.
DC 11. Can I even make that? -1,
six.
-1, and heal is at -1. So that's a -3 on a D12. I can't. Even if I roll max, I can't.
Okay. DC 12. This is now our 4th attempt, right? Or 4th round? No, this is the 5th round. You're almost dead.
What's his name? Heal.
What?
I forgot his name already. Kaganis.
Kaganis.
Yeah. I mean, he can give it a try. On this one, he spent that round fighting. So on this one, he can give it a try. Please, we're done with you. All right. So here's for the wife.
Nope.
You didn't do it. Micah, you want to give it a whirl? DC 12.
Oh, if it had been 5.
Gannis has a +2 skill check, but I don't think heal is in his wheelhouse. I'm just gonna give him 2d6, so he's got to get double 6. Oh my god!
What the hell?
Guys, I think we could trust him.
All right, so Kikanis rushes over and just kind of like rips off all these bandages and just like staunches the wound of her caved-in chest and then like gets her breathing again, and Genma is saved. Holy crap!
In
Dang
10
it!
minutes,
I mean,
I'll be
good.
to go. I really was like, at least you can make a character pretty fast.
All right, so you are no longer mortally wounded, but you are frail. Frail means you do not heal naturally. And
You know the 1 HP.
Buddy, as soon as we're back to a scene, I'm gonna be healing myself magically, which gets rid of frail.
there you go.
But it's good to know.
You're like awake. You're like heal.
While that's happening, Micah's just gonna go up front and wake up the adults on wagon 1 and be like, "Kill those, please."
Yeah,
Just stomp on him.
yeah. They kill the last of the centipedes.
Meanwhile, I'm just like sleeping away on the ground.
Well, we would wake you up, obviously.
Technically, I'm poisoned, so
Yeah,
I
she's
probably need
poisoned.
some kind of healing. I'm just unconscious until
We've got an herbalist and several healers now, so we should be fine to bring you back eventually.
I can't find details on the gear in the book.
It's because there isn't. It's just kind of like
Oh.
it gives you a name and tells you, and it literally says there's a paragraph that says like the DM decides what these do.
Oh,
Yeah, this system's pretty rules light.
Can my sword fire lasers?
No, the sword has stats and rules.
Wow, that's bullshit.
well, just because I was like, I wanted to read the healer's power. Say anything. Confused.
No, I mean it removes that negative too, which seems pretty valuable. Okay, so that's the first combat of the campaign. We were this close to having a player death because of a horse. Oh, speaking of horses,
Did we get it back?
speaking of horses, Genma's horse took off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on the lookout for it since it's pretty flat, like because I'm assuming we're in a crevice kind of deal, the way you kind of explained
Yeah,
it.
it's kind of like a low ground between some rocks. Yeah.
So we saw it take off in one or the other direction. So I'm just gonna try to go find it.
Okay, why don't you roll survive to try to track? And Genma, I assume, is just gonna heal all the wounded. And since you only need to heal them once, everyone gets one system strain, which if you sleep tonight, you'll lose.
Yeah.
Am I conscious then?
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Question, Jaken.
Mhm.
I'm down to roll survive, but what attribute? Wisdom?
Wisdom, yeah.
Thank you. I love you. I don't love these dice,
You're muted,
but I
babe.
love you.
I was gonna say, I love when I changed my HP to 0. It showed my
Little
being
broken heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I put in my system strain, my little HP bar just.
At 4, I'm assuming that horses go on.
Yeah, you can't find it.
I did not put points in survive.
Anyone else have survive, or they're like, dang, Varkin missed it.
I mean, I could try, but
Did you try talking to it?
Well, it was
Oh,
not around, so it was hard to talk to it.
Oh.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't talk to my horse. Why would I?
someone yell here, horsey.
Here, horsey, I want to
You know
talk.
what? You know what? No, Micah with his -1 survive is gonna go out there and yell for the horsey to try to get it to come back.
I'm gonna give you an additional -1.
Yeah, hell yeah, I
Okay.
love it. Let's go.
Okay.
Nope. Upon returning to the caravan and upon seeing the double fact that I'm already murdering his name.
Kaganis?
Kiganis has not only fought with the caravan, which is in soldiers' term, like if you fought with someone, you can
Oh yeah,
trust them at that
and it
point.
looks like he killed those centipedes with his bare hands. Yeah.
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 And on top of that, he saved Genma's life, which Genma's
Yeah,
a
like,
good friend.
holy shit.
Yeah, he's a good friend of Varkan. Varkan's gonna go over to the blacksmith's cart, and he's gonna say to the blacksmith once he's awake, because I think the blacksmith might have been bitten during the fight.
Yeah, but
I don't remember.
Genma's healed everybody while you two are off trying to find the horse.
He's gonna say to the blacksmith, "Can you please sharpen our friend's sword and hand it back to him?"
Next time we make camp, I will sharpen it.
Perfect. Can you give me his blade? His short
Yeah,
blade?
he goes to where he put those and hands you the dagger.
Yeah. I'll go back to Kaganis and say, Kaganis, you have fought well during this battle. It's a sign of trust among soldiers, and you saved the life of a friend of mine. As such, you've earned my full trust.
This word again.
I've ordered, or I've asked the blacksmith to sharpen your sword. It looked like it needed a little bit of care, but here's your blade in the meantime.
Genma, did you heal Kaganis as well? Did you heal everybody?
I mean, if I can, yeah, pop around and heal everybody.
Okay, good.
Sure. I was
Because
sure if I needed
he got bit quite a bit. Manhandling the centipede.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, thank you.
Yeah, well, same at you.
And Genma, are you all right?
Well, I feel like I've been kicked in the chest by a horse.
Well, that's kind of what happened. You're a tough person still standing. I'd give you I'd give you a hug, but I feel like it would make it worse. So
No.
imaginary hug, like just like he opens his arm and like almost hugs you, but does not hug you.
Oh, a hover hug.
Yes.
For these. Yes, thank you for your concern. I just need a good night's sleep, I think.
I'll make sure you get it. Nobody will
pretty
disturb
tired?
you.
I'm gonna
Okay,
just
yeah,
go
I'm
up
sure
and down the
everyone needs
caravan
it.
and see if someone wants to. If someone here is better at fighting the horse, because it was their horses to begin with. Maybe one of them is.
No, part of the idea of bringing Pathfinders is that these people aren't trackers, you know.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so they
I'll go look for my goddamn horse.
I mean, I'll go with you.
I mean, at this
can't
point,
afford, but at this point,
Well,
it's not.
at this point, we're just shot in the dark. Maybe
Did
it
you-
wandered back.
Did you have any? Did you have anything magical on the horse?
No.
I am assuming the only thing in their saddlebags of y'all's horses would be the provisions provided for you, nothing in your inventory. So I don't think anyone has anything magical to begin with.
Unfortunate.
I'm not much of a rider, so if you want, you can have my horse, and I'll just sit in the cart for now.
I mean, I can just hop in a wagon and
Okay,
hit the hay for a little bit. I think is fine.
you deserve it. You've done plenty of healing, and you've got through some.
I like killed one worm, and he's like, "Take your time."
Well, I'm gonna keep my eye out for the horse.
Yeah, everybody that got hurt, remember to put one system strain on.
I did.
Okay.
That horse is meat now.
Yeah, I mean the horse is gone, so.
You don't know. We might find it again.
Genma, what is going to be your means of travel now that you lack a horse?
Probably riding along on the wagons and like switching between. If I walk, it'll slow them down.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Brothers don't mind sharing.
Which wagon?
One towards the back. I feel like they have less people on them. The third and the fourth.
Yeah, definitely.
Rose will volunteer to share the horse too. Her horse. She's not a good rider. She slips a lot.
Okay. That you guys walk until the late afternoon, and you break for camp. Everybody gets kind of sluggish setting up camp today because everybody, even though they've been magically healed, they still have the trace amounts of centipede poison in their veins. They're just a little stiff, you know?
I bet the kids had a lot of energy though after that small nap.
It's true. They're running around making mischief.
I feel fine. I'm good. I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh man, I actually thought we'd be a lot farther tonight. Actually, wait, I thought we were going to take longer to get here. I thought the centipede ambush was going to be the end of the night, and we have an hour left, and I know what's next, and I'm like,
let's go. Let's do
well,
it.
it's because I think he can't give experience before the end of the session, so we might be going into a harder encounter with not the experience that we
yeah,
need.
the centipede was learn the combat mechanics and get hit by a horse. Now,
I mean, you could just, guys, shall we roleplay?
quick, let's fill an hour. So
Shall we roleplay?
Shall we?
We know we can do it. We've done it before.
Yeah, but the problem is, before we had high post.
I mean, we have I'll
Varkin.
learn your characters eventually. Varkin.
Yes, but
Varkin's
Varkin,
very animated.
Yeah, if we end up like with some hobby time, Genma will have like 10 and like a very neat little roll of like tidy neat, not as in like cool. Neat little roll of different styles of stamps and like a little heavy slab, and just be like using a hammer to tink 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 these stamps into this tin plate with her hobby time.
Varkin will come over hearing the small like ting 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 ting, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, Genma, what are you doing?"
She'll pull back her hands to reveal like a horse kicking backwards, like stamped, like impressed into the design. She was like, I was processing.
Oh, is that like a journal or something?
Oh, well, and she'll like gesture to her waist where she's got this huge belt buckle. And stamped into it is a relief of like an elephant charging through this tall brush. And she was like, I don't get paid for it, really. It's just kind of something to ground the mind in.
So you got charged by an elephant?
No. The elephant, it's kind of embarrassing, actually. The elephant's a religious symbol, but I'm not,
Oh.
like, I go on the, like, observance days, but not, like, every week. A bit of a Christmas Easter time.
So the thing you're working on is just like, I guess, practicing the craft, and also like helping you just dealing with what happened. But the buckle is more representative.
Yeah, the buckle's something I would wear. The horse I'll probably send home with like a letter and be like, a fun thing happened today. I nearly died. Love you lots.
Well, I think I told you already, but I collect coins and other historical trinkets. But I really like
Yes,
the
you
craft
told
that
me.
you have. I really like the craft that you have, but I don't want to not pay you for it. But I don't have money on me right now. So once the job is over, I will hire you to make me a buckle to commemorate the job that we did successfully, because we will succeed.
All right. Are you thinking like pastures, like a pastoral landscape? We could go like with centipedes.
Micah's head pokes around the corner from the wagon, from like where you're doing this. Can we wrap the conversation up and go back to the hammering, please? It was very calming.
You can try it. I've got some. She's got like test pieces that are just like different impressions on them. It just makes noise.
No, I'm reading, you hammering, me reading. Much good. I'm sorry. Please continue your conversation. I'll leave you alone. And he disappears again.
Well, since you're the artistic one, I'll let you design it. Like, I'll be happy with pretty much anything you can come up with, but I want something to commemorate it, and from your hand would be an honor to wear.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what the
Just in case you die.
we'll see what the journey looks like. Maybe have like a pasture with a centipede in it. I imagine that'll be the only hardship we have to bear. I'm gonna go back to
Okay.
if you're unless you
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Hey, Micah, what you reading?
oh. Tink tink tink.
If Gemma thought that was annoying, along comes Seamus, the 3-year-old.
No. No. Hey kiddo, don't touch those so you could choke on them.
As far as 3-year-olds go, Seamus is pretty well behaved, but also takes that very seriously for about 15 seconds and forgets that you said that, and then starts reaching for them.
No, I'm gonna just roll these up. I'm gonna just roll these up. It's okay. These are the consequences
What
of the
do?
actions you take. I hold out the tin.
Pretty.
Yeah, don't touch the edges. They could cut you probably. Oh, damn.
Did you get cut?
No.
But you're touching them.
In the field, we call what I experienced a contusion.
Okay. Yeah, so Genua has toddler aggro. Varkin, you're going over to Micah?
Oh, yeah. Micah, what you reading? And, like, Varkin just kind of sits behind Micah. And if Micah's against a card,
no.
No,
Not behind him.
as soon as Micah heard Varkin turn and say his name, he was already packing the book up and as close to running as one can get without actually running to another wagon.
Wait, Micah was right here. Rose, have you seen Micah?
I imagine Rose is like tinkering, trying to like make a trap, and just being like, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Just getting back to it.
Not Jenma, Jahan, have you seen Micah?
Jahan is on his way to go herd Seamus. So he's like, nope, not right now.
Damn it! Where did Micah go? He was just here a moment ago.
Somehow Micah has found his way around the cart and is like 10 yards behind Varkin now, like just trailing quietly.
Practicing that sneak skill.
And like as Varkin's walking around the caravan, like looking under the carts and like even in places that you would like, why would he be there reading or something? But he goes like, Micah, oh, Kaganis, Kaganis, are you doing anything interesting?
No?
You want to spar?
Ooh. You have no idea how interesting that proposal is. I have to weigh this very carefully.
By the way, I imagine the tinkering is also making like noises, and if Micah does happen to sit near Roge, she will not care.
You're some distance from Kaganis because he camps outside of everyone.
Yep.
But from this distance, you notice him when you mention sparring. He has this like rush of energy, like he really wants to, but then he goes, no, I don't think that would be best.
Another time then, but do you mind if I come sit down and maybe we can just share the last night lunch?
He gestures to inviting you to, sit with him.
And Varkin's gonna come over and sit down with him and probably start talking about like things that is like war stories that was shared to him by former trainees or his mentor or whatever. Like Kaganis will probably get bored of those stories before
I don't know if
Varkin
Varkin
runs out.
is socially aware enough to realize that everything you're saying, Kaganis is just like absorbing it.
Well, actually, it probably makes Varkin believe that he's making the best friend ever, in like with an Erasm that is intelligent and like seems really prone to making friends and everything. So yeah, it works out. He's absorbing everything. Amazing.
Okay. What are the
Again,
rest of y'all doing, if anything?
well, I just noticed something. You didn't capitalize Fang and Fang on Morgan's thing, and it bothers me.
In what?
It doesn't look like you capitalized the F in
That's just the
Morgan
font.
Sharpang on the thing. Oh, it is
Yeah.
capitalized? Okay. I don't like that font.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah, no, that's since Rose is also tinkering and now Genma is surrounded by a child and a parent and no, Micah and Varkin has been successfully distracted elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Micah will just happily go sit down next to Rose and read, listening to the tinkering.
Okay, cool.
So I did put points in craft, I believe. Could I potentially like make like a little device that just constantly makes noise?
That sounds
Like-
quite sophisticated.
Like a
But you
like
crank
a
up
old
like a music box, but
like
it
an
just makes
old
like
west like fidget cube.
Basically, yes.
I'm gonna say
Oh.
potentially, but you don't have the equipment supplies on hand.
She's gonna make note
Okay.
because she notices how much he likes.
So she's like
noises.
sketching ideas.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like while tinkering with her things.
Does she
She's
still
taking
look
note
at
of
him?
how much Micah likes, and it's like, okay.
Okay. How do y'all handle Night Watch? It's suddenly pertinent.
Suddenly pertinent. Jaken.
What?
For no reason whatsoever.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
Varkin would always volunteer to do the night watch, and even if somebody seems reluctant to do it, would take their place, even if it would exhaust him. Like he wants to be a good soldier. He wants to protect the caravan above his own well-being.
Rose would probably take watch quite often too because it's very hard to surprise her.
Okay. Barkin, you're on your first watch vigil. And you notice it's cold. You're wrapped up.
Yep.
You're a lizard. You really don't like this.
Nope.
But you notice a dense fog quickly just kind of rush through the camp, and all the fire is starting to like and start to flicker and fade. And it's dense.
He's thick, bro. I'm sorry. I had to.
Should have
don't
killed
be.
you when I had the chance. No.
I'd still be around.
That's true. Can't get rid of her.
I kind of feel like would Varkan wake people up for just a fog? It looks a little bit unusual, so I think I'm gonna roll. It's just for my own sake. I'm gonna roll a mental save. If I pass, gut feeling says wake people up because it's a normal. If I fail, it's just fog. It's all right. I can deal with it. Okay, it's just fog. I can deal with it. It happens in the desert.
Hey, give me a notice check.
I feel like that was not the good way to go. Notice check with wisdom.
With wisdom, yeah. Okay. So you at first you kind of brush it off, like you don't know the wild basin. Maybe fog rolls in really rapidly for no reason at the middle of the night. But you hear something that sounds like a dog whine, and you see a black shape in the fog.
Immediately, like dog whine, dark shape. Immediately, Varkan will like make noise and be like, "Two harms, two harms."
Okay.
Did we heal our system strain?
No, because you haven't finished your
No.
you haven't finished your sleep.
Okay, just want to check.
Okay. As you do that, Varkan, you stand up, you draw your sword, and you're like, two arms, two arms, two arms, and everyone starts to rouse. You see this kind of gray hound. Not a gray hound, a hound that is gray.
Yep.
Pretty sizable looking one, like a pit bull. Come out, literally out of the fog, and jump over and dissolve into another patch of fog.
Okay, that's really unusual. But Varkan is simply gonna interpret this as they're in the fog, because that's what his brain comprehends.
And as the four of you rouse, you see these same dogs emerge from the fog, and once they're still, in place of their eyes, they just have this basically billowing fog coming out of eye holes. Roll initiative.
Fascinating.
Well, I don't have to roll. That saves me the trouble.
I made a macro.
That's well. Last time you rolled an 8, and this time you rolled a 9. Okay. All around you is an unknown number of fog-born wild dogs. Not that your characters know what that means, just you, the players, know. And Kaganis will join you after one round of combat. You guys have initiative. There's at least one fog-born dog for each of you.
I'm gonna shoot mine.
Okay.
Where the heck's the thingy? We go first, so I just...
Yeah, you won initiative.
Yep.
I love that everything's automated.
Yeah, it's like such a relief after. Okay, AC 11. So you notch your bow and you fire it at a dog, and it just kind of like suddenly moves, and the arrow flies off into the fog. Yeah, that was really good. D8s really like you.
See, now that you said that, they're gonna hate me. Thanks.
Well,
I know my relationship with dice.
I'm going to cast. Okay, wait. Should I aggro or not aggro? Aggro, probably. Okay. I'm gonna cast the coruscating coffin. That's that. It's a physical save
on one of them.
on the one I can see. Oh, shit.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. He's only one hit dice, so you cast your spell, and one of the dogs just kind of goes like condenses into fog and poof, and bursts.
Nice.
Given what happened last time, Jaken, is there a dog in range of my melee attack, or would I have to move to it?
You can move to it and attack.
No, I don't want to move to it. If
Okay,
it's
so
not
right now they're on the perimeter. They haven't moved in yet.
Okay, I will take a step back and move action to screen an ally, and I will screen Genma.
Ah. Well, okay then. For some reason, you want to protect the healer. Sounds cheeky. At least
Yeah,
Micah.
you didn't even target me last time.
That's true. The horse got you. It's a dangerous game.
Note that I haven't used my main action. That was just my move.
Okay. But
It's
your
important.
turn.
I'm done for my turn, but it's
I got you.
important to note I still got my main action.
I understand. I know the rules. I know what you're doing. Thank you.
I don't know what he's doing, but I'm here for it. Rose, have you gone?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
shot.
It's literally just me?
Yep.
Yeah, I shot and missed. I am
Okay.
not Legolas.
Okay. Micah is gonna kind of find I'm gonna move over towards one of the fires, even though they're like sputtering. It's still lighter and safer there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna do the cowboy jutsu thing again. But this time he's gonna call out, and his voice is gonna drop about an octave for this one. Wings of darkness, come and sever night from day. And he is going to summon a giant shadow raven. Specifically, a shadow raven wreathed in lightning, flying above him. But it's not actually a shadow raven because it's an illusion.
Yeah, it's a phantasm. Got him.
Yep, it's a phantasm, and yeah, it's gonna swoop in and shoot lightning at these boys.
Okay. It has your attack, right? When it attacks, it uses your attack roll.
Fight with the caster's hit bonus.
Yeah.
Yep, do 1d8, have AC 10, and vanish if struck. But he's like flying like a good 15, 20 feet above the ground.
Right. Yeah. Okay, we'll make an attack roll.
Where do I do that again? Just like any.
It says your hit bonus, so I reckon probably just going to be your attack bonus, which is 0. So it's probably just a d20.
Okay. I'm gonna do that then. It's weird that doesn't have like an actual attack
Well, it is an illusion.
written into it. I mean,
Yeah.
like because it's got the buttons there for.
Oh, it has the
save
damage
and
roll, but not the attack roll.
Yeah.
All because it's variable.
Okay.
Okay. A bolt of lightning shoots into the mist, and one of the hounds just kind of like moves out of the way as it strikes the ground, and it gives this whimper like it's afraid. There's no reason for these dogs to suspect this is an illusion, so they're not going to make any mental saves. Okay, that's everybody, right?
I believe so, yes.
The dogs. I'm going to roll d6 to see how many dogs will attack. Oh wait, you killed a dog. That means there's a morale test. When the first enemy dies, there's a morale test. I missed this last time. So let's see if they want to keep fighting. Barely. That was almost a 10. You almost scared them away with one spell, which would have been pretty dope. They decided they're hungry. And so a 1d6 worth of them are going to attack. 4. 1 for each of you. Okay, that means let's go ahead and attack Genma first, which means they're attacking Varkin, right?
Yes, which I invoke total defense.
Okay.
So my AC is now 17.
Okay, he missed. Another one is going to attack Varkin proper. Oh yeah, the one that did more damage hit, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so you thrust. You have a shield. Yeah, you thrust your shield in front of one of the dogs lunging for for Genma, and you buffet it aside, but you don't see the other one run behind you and just take a bite into your calf.
Okay, -4.
And then one of them comes rushing out of the fog and is going to attack Rose. And miss. And the last one comes just barreling through the fog, whizzing through people. Not really, because attacks from opportunity things, but for narrative's sakes, is whizzing through people on its way to Micah and is going to attack. And miss. Alright, y'all's turn. Kaganis is now with you. So I'm going to go ahead and just do Kaganis first. He's going to attack the nearest dog.
He has his weapons back now.
He just has a knife. Thank you. I almost rolled his cleaver. He rolled quite poorly.
I mean, these guys are very evasive.
Yeah, he missed.
I'm gonna use a instant action snap attack at the dog that's attacking Genma.
Oh, by the way, I figured out why you were doing an extra. You checked a box that said add skill to damage, which you shouldn't have done.
Oh, okay. So snap attack is -4. Nope, that's not gonna cut it. I don't think so.
No, 11. No, it's gonna be a miss.
Okay, and then my main action, although it's gonna be an instant, but I'm gonna call it if we get attacked, it's gonna be to total defense, and my move action is gonna be to continue screen Genma.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot one of them.
You're adjacent to someone. I do believe that.
Yes, I believe there's a
Can't
penalty.
shoot.
No, I think there's a penalty. They can, but there's a penalty.
Shooting a bow while being meleeed by a foe, you cannot do.
Oh,
Unless
that's
you have
drastic.
unless you have a focus.
Yes.
There is a focus that lets you do that.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
But I suppose I could get my dagger out. It's not readied, so it's gonna take me an action.
Oh, it's not ready? Okay.
No.
You need to make sure to adjust your readied items so you can stow one while you draw one. I'm cool with that. So you stowing the bow to draw the dagger?
I was just gonna drop it.
You can do that too. Yeah. You get movement penalties if you're over encumbered. I think Micah has like a 15-foot movement because he's got extra everything readied and stowed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it, and if I need it, I'll pick it back up.
Okay. So on your on-turn action, you turn around and grab your backpack from the floor while like kicking at the dog and pull the dagger out.
Yeah.
Okay. Genma, Micah.
I'm gonna place my hands on I just
Varkin?
like Varkin. Thank you. I was thinking Varnak and I was like, that's wrong. on Varkin's back. To activate healing touch. Oh, and it doesn't have a roll button for that. That's weird.
I can add that later.
But it's just 2 of these.
Plus your heal skill.
Yeah, 6 plus heal, which is 1.
So 7.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good, but you
Oh
do
yeah,
have
I'm full
resistance
HP.
strain.
Yeah,
But,
system strain, yep.
Yep. I got
Yeah.
14 of those, so heal me all you want.
Okay, I won't overuse it because I don't want to sap all your energy.
Yeah.
All right, then Micah will take a swing at the one that came at him with his staff. And then the illusion acts of its own accord, so it's also going to attack.
Cool.
So
I don't know if y'all noticed, but oh, okay.
Yep.
On my
I'm better
screen,
with
your
spells.
D20 was either a 9 or a 19, and this says you get a -3.
Yep.
Oh,
Currently. Yeah.
okay then.
Yeah, I'm better with spells, but
Definitely.
I've got them just in case.
Okay.
Oh, that was almost a on that spell. All right.
Okay. So that's not good. So that means of the 4 dogs, there are still 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, there's more. There's now 8 dogs.
All right.
You know, I'm just realizing I don't know why I didn't have my dagger. Reason for me not to. I'm not at full ready. I'll just remember that next time.
Yep. Okay. So there are now 8 dogs out. So I'm going to start with the original 4. We're going to attack Genma first, which means we're attacking the screenedness.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on, I just need to double check something.
I spent like 15 minutes getting these dice to look that cool. Just let everyone know.
They do look very cool.
Thank you. Well, he missed, and then another one's going to attack you, so I'm just going to keep rolling.
Okay, I forgot some rules. I just want to make sure I'm doing it properly.
What's your AC? 18?
I think it's 17 with total defense.
17 with total defense.
You take 1 damage.
Okay.
Alright, one's going to attack Micah. $16?
Meeting AC hits.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
So
I'm
take 2
down.
damage. You're down. Okay.
Yeah, no, I have 1 damage available. So,
Right, yeah,
you know.
I know that. Okay,
Far
and
away
then
is
Rose.
Micah, how far away are you?
I'm by a fire.
Bye, guys.
Okay, Rose is down. I think one of the dogs is going to run up and attack Kaganis.
okay.
Wow, they keep hitting on the dot. Okay, Kaganis is hurt for 1 hit point. You guys have no idea how little that he gets.
That means to him.
The remaining 3 are going to rush into the caravan.
Okay, just a quick rule. We did screen an ally wrong. They have a chance to attack the person I'm screening. They need to roll a strength or dex-based opposed skill check against my combat skill. If I succeed, or if they fail, whatever, I'm the one that screens. If they get past, then they attack the original
Alright, starting
target.
now. Okay,
Okay.
half the party is unconscious, dying. Mortally wounded, as the rules would state.
Okay, I can run over to one of them.
Okay.
Whichever is closest.
I actually think that Genma would be closest because Micah specifically said he backed off towards the fire.
Rose?
Yeah, I think Rose would be closer to you.
Okay. I run up to Rose and place my hand like on her arm or something to do the 2d6.
You don't need to roll it. She has 1 hit point.
+1. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm over here clicking dice.
Right.
We want to see the shiny clack clack.
Almost a silly question here for
I
you,
think this is
Jaken.
some
What's
strings
up?
out, right?
Yeah, you guys
'cause
set some strain.
I feel like going down means that the illusion drops as well, but the way it's described, it does not.
No, I
say
think the
that.
spell is cast, and the
Yeah.
illusion persists. You don't have to maintain focus on it. You unleash the magical energy; it exists.
Right.
But I don't think it'll do anything. I don't think it'll attack.
Will behave and act on its own in accordance with the caster's intentions for it.
Okay, so yeah, you basically created a program, and
Yeah.
I just watched The Matrix recently, and it does its thing. I'm cool with it. Makes sense to me.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, there's no concentration mechanic unless it specifically says that the caster has to focus on it. You put the magic out there, it's going to do its thing.
Cool.
So you want to go ahead and roll that?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Okay. This illusion is a little impotent.
Garbage.
Yeah. Oh, Kaganis is going to. This here's a knife. Nobody can hit today.
Not nobody.
That's true. The doggos can hit. Okay. You know what? Kaganis is going to attack again because he can, and he just hasn't been. And I'm gonna say that like it makes sense to everybody, and I think that's gonna he's gonna kill one of the dogs. The dog fighting him.
Varkin is going to do a snap attack.
Oh, in
And
case
the
you're
one-
wondering, the fogborn wild dogs are immune to shock damage. So
Yep.
I figured.
So snap attack at the dog that's still against me. Yep, that didn't go anywhere. I'm rolling really poorly tonight. I'm going to
In the
total.
without numbers systems, you miss a lot, like especially in the
Yes.
lower levels. That's just how it goes.
But that's why there's shock damage. But against enemies that are immune to shock damage,
yeah.
it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go total defense for my main action immediately because I'm gonna take a step back, which would give it a attack of opportunity on me. Or how many are against me? They would get attack of opportunity.
Just the one, because one's trying to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna
miss.
move to screen.
Okay. And Rose, you're conscious now, right? So you can.
Yeah, I have my dagger now.
Yeah, with magical healing, yes.
Yeah, there's no. You're not even frail. You can just stand up for your move and attack with your
Yeah.
dagger.
Pretty much, I'm gonna stand up and just stab him, stab.
Okay.
You know. With
Genma, did I do an attack of opportunity on you?
Oh no.
Yeah, figured that was gonna happen.
Okay, well, I missed it, so.
Oh, I missed.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. Why do you have a minus? Oh, you're not skilled with your dagger at all.
I'm not skilled with my dagger.
Rolled
I usually use my
out.
bow.
This is gonna be a long combat, y'all. Their turn.
You wanted this.
All right. Let's start with Varkin being attacked.
Okay, 17 AC.
You're hit.
Can you stop rolling high or give me these rolls?
I cannot. I am the dog. All right. Take 4 damage.
Jesus Christ.
And then
ow.
another one is going to try to attack Genma. So he needs to do an opposed against you.
Strength or dexterity against.
It's just they just have a skill, and that's it. It's literally like skill.
And me, it's against my combat skill applicable to their weapon. So it would be my stab.
Using strength, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, using
Right,
strength.
so
I
they are
forgot
going
to use
to-
strength. But
They are going
anyway,
to attack
I got
you.
it.
And miss. Okay.
Perfect.
Next one's going to attack Rose. Oh, it really wanted to hit. All right,
my
Rose is
God.
back down to being unconscious. And Micah, you're unconscious, right? So the one fighting you is going to run over to Kaganis and try to take a bite out of Crime. And miss.
And I think Micah still can roll for his bird.
On our turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other 3 are going to make attack checks real quick.
I like seeing low numbers.
Yeah.
Kind of scary, but
The fighters among the caravan are warding off the 3 Fogborn for now.
good.
Okay. Y'all's turn. Kaganis is going to go ahead and attack. Oh, he shouldn't be rolling a d6. Should be rolling a d4. What did he roll? 5? Let me re-roll that. 3 damage? That's enough to kill him. Okay, 1 dog dead.
Bird's just gonna attack one of them over by Varkin.
Okay.
So I mean, it doesn't even really matter. You pick.
Oh, that might be a hit. No, 11, I don't
Nope.
think.
Okay.
Snap attack. Better, but still no cigar because of -4.
Yeah, they have 14 AC.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Why do you have a -4?
Because
doing
it's a snap attack.
attacks.
I'm
Oh,
doing
that's
it
right.
without accuracy. I'm doing it speed, so it doesn't cost me my main action. Because my main action is going to be to screen you, and
Well, that's your move action.
yeah, move action, and then total defense for main action.
I mean, it might be worth just killing these things.
If you go down, I don't know if we can save everyone.
Okay, fair. I'm about to run to Micah though, so
You're gonna take the attack of opportunity?
fuck.
Well,
You are
since you're,
being
since you're
screened, so
since you're next to me, it will go most likely to me.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
gotta beat a 7, new guy.
Okay, this time I have strength up, so it should. Oops, strength
It
up.
should. Oops, it's not. Yeah, you're good.
Beat it. So he's going to me.
Congratulations, you're getting attacked.
Oh my god. Oh my God.
Veteran's luck. I haven't used it yet. That one missed.
Okay, cool.
I heal Micah for, 1.
Yep, Micah, you're healed. You can
System
take your
frame.
action.
Don't
Right
forget
now, there are
that's-
3 dogs in the caravan, like at a different camp, and there are
2 on me.
and 1
Well-
on Rose. All 3 of them are in that area, yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, the one on
Micah-
Rose went to attack Kaganis, I think.
Well, the one on Micah went to go fight Kaganis, and Kaganis killed it.
Oh, Yep.
So. Ba, 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 ba. Like physically attacking it isn't really going to help. So we're going to go ahead and cast. No, we're not going to cast anything. What is this full defense we're talking about?
Right now,
it adds +2 to your AC, makes you immune to shock damage, makes you immune to swarm attacks.
Gemma and Micah are away from the fighting right now. There's no
Yeah.
dogs near you.
Hey, what are my other options other than to attack and or cast a spell?
Run in.
Charge, shatter a shield, make
Do
a
you have
ranged
dagger?
attack.
Daggers can be thrown.
I do have a dagger. I have a dagger, quote unquote, readied. So
You can go
Are you
pro
out of
without.
spell points?
no, I got one left.
You could always cast a spell.
Can I keep 2 illusions up at the same time? Since it's kind
No,
of a
I
fire
think it
and
actually
forget?
says in the spell that you can only have a number of illusions up equal to.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Got it. Cool. Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't help.
I mean, if you cast a coruscating coffin, you just kill one.
Yeah, that's the one I used.
Yeah, but I don't have a cool fucking like spell incantation for it yet, so
Guess I'll
Yeah, I
die.
haven't had time to do that.
yeah, we'll go ahead and cast that, and my homework will be to come up with a cool fucking saying for that
All
one.
right, well, just like when Gemma hit one, it just kind of like condenses into fog and goes poof.
Yep. I want to roll it anyway, just because.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. It does really feel good.
That's 3 of the the Fogborn wild dogs are dead. Their turn, right?
I believe so.
Okay. 2 of them are going to attack Varkin.
Let's hope they roll low. Thank God that was close to a 20. I was afraid. Nope, that's gonna be me.
3 damage.
Yep, I'm out.
Okay, and the last one's going to attack Rose.
You're out.
Oh yeah, I'm
already
down.
unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh, you're already unconscious?
Yep.
I'm
Yeah, she's
unconscious.
Oh, well, this one runs up to Kaganis and does 3 damage to him.
Just casually taking 3 damage.
Oh, the audience can see his character sheet right now. They know he's okay. Okay, y'all's turn. Kaganis is going to piecemeal this fucking dog.
Unless he rolls super low, but no, he's good.
But he doesn't do enough damage to kill it, so he's got to make another attack. Cool.
Oh, nice.
Bird.
I really want that bird to hit. I'm rooting for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to roll a 14 or higher.
I run over to Rose. God, she can only take so much system strain.
Yeah.
I
I'm
might be better off dealing with getting Vargas up and
Well, this is
Yeah,
only
we-
this is only round 2 of you being unconscious, right?
Varkin.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's round 2. I'm gonna touch to heal Varkin
Okay. Full health, Varkin.
for 7.
Nice. I stand up and immediately go scream and total defense. And with my snap attack, I'm gonna attack the dog that freaking brought me down. With anger in my eyes, and hopefully if something above like 14 on the roll, please. Nope.
Micah will also run up to that dog and poke it with a dagger. Because Micah hasn't gone yet. The bird has. Melee, roll. Nope.
Okay.
So close to an 18. The game really hates us.
So it would seem. Is there only one dog left on y'all?
Only one on us or two?
Thought it was one because 3 have died. We started with 4.
Well, then one more showed up.
Oh yeah.
So there's 2 on you.
Yep.
I think I miscounted at some point, but yes, there are 2 on you, 3 in the camp.
Yes,
All right,
I think that's the last of them.
They're gonna make a morale check. Okay, they're still in it to win it.
They're brave.
Yeah. One's gonna attack Varkin. Miss.
That's a nope.
The other one's gonna I'll skip the middleman and just attack Varkin.
That's a nope.
Okay. Y'all's turn. Kagan is gonna rush over and attack the first one he sees. Not killing it. Gonna attack it again. And miss. Okay, y'all's turn.
I'm
Bird.
gonna...
Bird.
Let's do the bird first. Oh!
Oh! Come on.
All right, go ahead.
Main action, regular attack. One of the dog close to me. Nope.
Oh my god.
And snap attack against the same one.
Oh, it was almost a 20.
Yep.
Uh,
And I'm still gonna screen Genma just in case. I don't think it matters at this
no,
point.
you said
but,
main action attack. Oh, it's move.
Screen is move.
Yeah, okay.
but now I have 15 AC instead of 17. So Rose is unconscious, so Genma.
Yeah. I heal Rose. I'm sorry for the extra system strain. I
Fine.
click the dice.
Hey, there's no dogs near me
No,
now, right?
you don't heal Rose. You heal 11 roses.
Yeah. It's 11 Ms too. I can't be too judgy.
Yeah.
Since you're behind me, I think you would be fine for now. No dogs immediately in your vicinity.
So could I pick up my bow and shoot one? You drop it on the ground
Yes, I
next
think
to me.
picking up an item is something you can do that doesn't take your main action.
Move action, pick up an
Move.
item.
There you go. Yeah, so you can pick up your bow, use your on-turn action to knock an arrow and let loose.
Yeah. From lying on the ground. So I'm using my
Are you
move
shooting the
action.
injured one or the full health one?
Oh. I should shoot the injured one.
Okay.
Damn it.
Okay.
I want a replay on those rolls. I don't think we've rolled above 15 at all this combat.
Yeah, you guys have been rolling really awfully. All right, one of them's going to attack Varkin.
Great.
Okay. Yes.
Miss.
That's a
The other one's
dodge.
going to turn to Kaganis.
Okay.
Gonna hit him for a whole 1 damage. Man. I got to do that several more times. Y'all's turn. Kaganis is gonna try to finish this guy off.
And I'll let the bird go first. I really want to see the bird kill something.
Okay, Kaganis kills his target.
The bird.
Ah!
14!
Oh, yeah, it just obliterates like he's done.
Varkin's gonna run toward the carts and see if there's any dogs still alive in the carts.
I'm gonna go ahead and say at this point, like, they could probably handle one of the dogs, and the other 2 are gonna piss off.
Okay.
So, how's everyone's system strain?
I'm at 3.
I'm also at 3.
Oh, I was supposed to take a system strain.
I got a rock.
I've got 1.
Okay. There are some injured
Good.
passengers, and go around and give them the healy wheelie. Including Kaganis, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm at 21% system strain.
I can also just like bandage them.
True. But I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to heal, right?
It doesn't cost me anything. I'm just saying it costs them. So if they are like, no, I'm already exhausted, I can just wrap them up.
Yeah. Okay. My thinking is, as long as Genma doesn't die to a horse, the NPCs are pretty much safe from death.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Unless they die from a horse.
The next morning, everyone is kind of, especially the children. Let's say the children in particular all seem really intimidated by Micah. Might have something to do with him conjuring a shadow raven. Yeah. As I explained to the players, and now I explain to the audience, magic is known in this world. But there's a difference between knowing magic exists and seeing it in action. These war veterans have probably seen it, the elves have probably seen it, the dwarf has probably seen magic, maybe not this magic, but these children are like, what the fuck? So
We cut out, but yeah.
that's okay. Everyone saw my mouth move. They know
Yep.
what I
Well,
said.
those words were easily readable on your lips.
I think it's fair to say that even without mouthing the words, we all knew where that was going.
Yep.
Okay.
Micah, immediately after the combat, and like everything is calmed down, just like and the raven will like scraw and like fly into itself and explode in feathers that like fade away into the fog.
Well, the fog, and the fog starts to roll away.
And then Micah will kind of just look around to make sure everything's okay, and then absolutely crumple into a heap on the ground and like just pass out.
Okay.
Varkan is gonna make a quick tour of the caravan, help out where needs be, because like there might be some damages. Genma's already dealing with the healing, but physical damages to the carts and whatnot. He's gonna try to help, and in the meantime, he's gonna try to encourage everyone. Like, we've survived another encounter in the wild basin. Nothing can take down this caravan. Everybody did an amazing job. Like just general encouragement.
Okay. I kind of want to do this next scene.
I imagine that if he like gets really close to Rose and he's shouting that, she's like, "Shut up!" trying to sleep.
Jinma like is laying there with her eyes open, like.
All right, so everyone remove one system strain for a good night's rest.
Well, good is arguable, but I'll remove it.
2 days after the fog attack, the caravan is trekking along.
So do we remove another system strain since it's 2 days later?
Thank you.
Do we remove 1 or do we remove 2?
A total of 2.
Hey, I'm back up to full system strain.
You said you had 3.
1 from that night and then another 2 days.
No, a total of 2.
No, 2 all day. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. You guys see some broken down wagons just 100, 200 feet in front of you when you round a rock. It looks like the ruins of another caravan.
How old is it?
You'd have to approach to get a better inspection.
Oh ho, you are approaching me.
Yes.
Varkan is gonna turn to Jahan and be and say, that caravan might be an old wreck, but it could also be a caravan that's been assaulted same way we did. So I don't see any threat immediately, so I think I'll go check it out.
Okay. Anyone gonna join him?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'll hang back.
All right.
I'm
Kaganis is
going
also
with.
gonna ride up. All right. So the four of you come up to the wreckage of this caravan. It looks to be 3 wagons, wrecked. There are carcasses of oxen and horses that they've been there for a while. And I assume, Varkan, you're going to dismount your horse to get a better look. As you do, Kaganis trots up next to you, and he's got this steel gaze in his eyes as he looks over, and he's like, "This was an Erasm attack."
How likely is it that they stuck around?
Unlikely. Erasm raiders this far away from territory will make hit-and-run attacks. They won't linger in one place. Ambushes this far from the territory is unlikely. We are most likely safe, but they're near.
I want to roll Wisdom Survive to see tracks and whatnot, and kind of piece back CSI style what happened and where they went.
Go for it.
I'm gonna be collecting scrap that I could use to make traps out of.
Give me a wisdom notice, Rose. Yeah, Varkan, any tracks here are long since dusted over.
The Erasm, are they known for, like, are they known for having magic users among their raiding parties?
Depends on the size of the raiding parties, but yes, they have magic users among their number.
Okay, Micah is gonna kind of sniff around. You know what? No, we're not gonna sniff around nothing. We're just gonna, boom, apprehending the arcane form.
Okay.
And again, no special conjure incantation for this one yet, but I'll get there.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I imagine his eyes glow the same color as kind of the purple lightning that was wreathing the Shadow Raven.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna circle back to you. Elenia, this caravan has been plundered, either by the Erasm or scavenger animals or both.
Yep.
But you do find a single crate among the wreckage that was obscured.
Okay.
It has... Actually, Rose, you're probably the only person who wouldn't immediately recognize this symbol. But if you point it out to anyone else, they'll recognize it. It has a stamp on it.
Well, I mean, I probably will, but like I said, I'm also looking for like scrap metal. Or
Yeah, I mean,
like
like
that.
Anything here is not going to be much use. This is the only thing you found of value.
Again, I'm going to use it to make a trap.
Okay.
So I can use common materials to make traps.
You have 1 unit of common materials and this crate. And it has a stamp on it. And
Listen, I'm going to make Micah his fidget cube one way or another.
Okay. What do you want to do with the damn crate?
I'm going to show it to them. But guess what I found?
Micah, you're the first person to everyone knows the symbol is, but you're like, that's a symbol of the Sign Arquette.
And we kept.
And also, because you are all magicalness, you are detecting a faint trace of magic on the box.
On the crate itself.
Coming from within it, actually.
Coming from within it. Can Michael take a couple of large steps backwards and say, "Someone open that, please"?
Varkan's gonna get close to the box, look at Micah, look at the box, put his hand on the latch, look at Micah.
Hang on.
It doesn't have a latch, actually. It's like nailed shut.
I'm an expert for traps. My job.
Okay. Give me a notice check.
Still wisdom?
Yep.
9.
It's not trapped.
All right, it's not trapped. Go ahead.
I try to open it with my bare hands, but it's nailed shut. So then I
No,
grab
I mean,
my.
it's got small nails into it. It's meant to be opened. You have strength
Okay.
18. You're probably just like.
Okay then.
Okay.
I clunk it.
Okay. Inside, it's stuffed with hay, and there were 4 bottles in this hay, but only one of them is intact. The others are broken, and their multicolored liquids are sloshing into the. In you can see it in the hay, kind of mixed about. But there's one of this spherical bottle still in there, and it's pulsing magic. Micah, you can see through your apprehending it. You're muted.
Mate,
You get a 1-sentence description of it. Yeah.
1-sentence description. Yep. And if I want more, I can make a wisdom magic check.
While Jaken's doing that, Varkin grabs the bottle carefully. Still knows that it's glass. Be careful with it.
Mhm.
And he says, "Colorful water."
Vegas.
Yes.
When applied to a non-magical
Get away
object
from them.
no larger than a large door, the substance becomes soft and malleable as clay for a short time.
Interesting transmutation properties to the actual potion inside. Well, not really necessarily a potion. Potion would then insinuate that one would drink it. I wouldn't recommend drinking this at all. Please don't drink this. In fact,
Or like a
please
salve.
please hand that to me. Yeah. Well, and salve, kind of like an ointment, would mean like rub it on the skin. I wouldn't rub it on your skin either. This is a concoction.
Which
Does
means
they
you
not-
throw it.
No. I mean, you could, but no. It's
You could, but don't.
but don't.
But hold on, I thought a concoction was what Genma had when the horse kicked her.
That was a contusion.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
So you take it. I'm gonna add it to your inventory.
Unless anyone else is going to argue with me taking it.
No.
Don't give it to Varkin. From his player, don't give it to Varkin.
Okay.
All right, you have an elixir of plasmic molding in your inventory, Micah.
Nice. I assume there's nothing else in the immediate area.
Nope, nothing of value. And since that's time, we can go ahead and say you return to and the rest of the day is uneventful. All right, you guys are going to get 3 experience, which means you're going to level up. Now, the bulk of... Stop calling me scam caller. Go away. Oh, actually, it says number verified, but why the fuck would they call me at 10 p.m.? Anyway. That derailed me. I wasn't expecting to get a...
3
Cool.
experience.
3 experience, so you're level 2. So the bulk of you guys are going to get skill points and spells and all that, but that's whatever. But before we leave for the night, I want you guys to roll for your hit points. So hit points in this game, unlike 5th edition, or maybe I've never played Pathfinder. I don't know how it works there. So instead of rolling new hit points and just adding it to your total, you roll your total hit dice, and if your result is higher than your current result, which in some cases would be hard not to, that is your new total. If it is equal to or less than your current total, you gain 1 hit point. No, you roll 2d6. Yeah, because you now have 2 hit dice. So roll another one and add it to 2. You now have 5 hit points.
All right.
It just becomes 5.
It becomes 5, yeah.
So,
Oh, that rolled really wrong. I don't know why I did that. I will just roll d6s.
I
Is
went
that-
to up my level, and my evasion, mental, physical, and luck changed.
Correct.
it's
It's
plus
supposed to? Okay.
it's plus Constitution, right? So it would be +4 because warrior and +2 because Constitution.
Oh, right. I got a -1 con.
It's +2 per die. Your con... Oh, how much do you get for your con? -1?
Yeah.
Your hit points are now 3. Yeah, your con mod and your +2 or your -1 in the case of evoker, that's for each die. Yeah. So
11 now.
okay.
Got 3 hit points. Well, I guess I'm better than I was.
4 hit points.
I will re-roll the
ah.
2d6. And then it's the -1s from your class.
Mm-hmm. So that'd be -2. And then what's your con
Yeah.
mod? +0?
0.
You have 9 hit points.
No, I'm still one-shottable, guys, but
So I have 10 hit points total. Or no.
No,
I
your
just have
new
the-
hit
I have
point
the
is
number
9.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so our level 2 characters have 11, 9, 4, and 3.
why is mine 3? I only had a -1 con.
Twice.
Oh,
It
twice.
applies to
Got
each
it.
Yeah, it's
roll.
per
It applies
dice.
to each
Gotcha.
die. Yeah. Okay, so that's y'all's hit points. Level 2. You guys will do the rest of that between sessions. The best you can get is 12. Each time you level up, you get another d6 to the roll. So the highest level is a lot. Real 10. So
Plus-
like, yeah.
Yeah, plus like Varkin has massive friggin' bonuses.
Right. Okay, so that was session 1 of Embers of the Vale. If we keep going at the same pace, this first adventure will probably be 1 or 2 more sessions. So that's pretty cool.
All right.
The Pathfinders are leading the caravan of this family, whose name temporarily eludes me. The Scarbrats, on their way to the chamber and look up in search of a new life. They have made it about 2 weeks into their journey. They have a long ways left to travel through the Wild Basin. Join us next week as we continue this journey and see if anyone gets killed by a horse. That's us for tonight. Have a good night. See you next week.